That's the wrong scene. Whoops. Anyway, what's up, guys? Let's do some just chatting first. There we go. That's better. Welcome, everybody. Happy Monday. And greetings to one and all. The opponent, Goaty, Brunin G, Itinerant Soldier, lurkers in chat, VOD viewers, and everybody else. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. SGBU, Lamasar, welcome, welcome. Thank you, of course, to Itinerant Soldier for the incredibly generous and continued support. 16 months of unspeakable horrors. Appreciate that. You are well on your way to a brand new skull. And we will check in on the Q Branch research funding status in just a few moments to see how that latest contribution brings us ever closer to the first milestone, first goal, and the first unlocking of a hidden bonus secret mission, in addition to the list of games to be played in this glorious project called Games Bond. We're finally back to Bond. Bond is back. It's Bond time. A little bit of a hiatus, I guess. Been bouncing back and forth with some different stuff. We played some Mega Drive games. We watched some trailers on Saturday. We watched The Spy Who Loved Me on Saturday night on Discord. And finally, it's time to play more Bond games. It was a bit uncertain earlier today. There was like the city run fiber network had some outage issues, I guess. Of a lot of people were without internet, including my workplace. So I wasn't sure if I was even going to be able to stream, but it looks like internet is fine here. So we are good to go. We'll see how things develop over the course of tonight's stream, and of course, whatever implications that may have for future streams. I think it is safe to assume that we will most likely not cover everything that this game has to offer in a single stream. But I have some other stuff coming up, and we're getting awfully close to Christmas as well. So I'm not 100% sure how some of the scheduling is going to work out over the next week or two. But we will figure it out, and we'll get to that and talk more about it as it becomes more relevant, I suppose. But I have some engagements, not on Wednesday, but I might need to take Wednesday off for some preparations of some stuff. I still don't know for sure. I do plan to do a holiday stream, which will most likely happen on Christmas Eve, because I think as of now, I have some loose holiday plans, but nothing for Christmas Eve. So that will probably be done in what has become a little bit of a tradition, I suppose, of a basically day-long special. Last year, we did a Crazy Climber Christmas, which was great fun. Great fun. This year, I have some loose ideas for a new theme for this year's holiday stream. I am rapidly amassing a pile of Christmas presents to be unboxed. We'll be enjoying some form of Christmas dinner, I'm sure. Well, I will be anyway, but you guys get to enjoy it vicariously through me. So, more details on Christmas stream as they solidify. I will hopefully be able to have some kind of an announcement over the next week or so. But tonight, we are focusing on James Bond. Space Hoppercopter, Zetzabera, greetings, greetings. Just trying to think, is there any other kind of housekeeping that we need to take care of before we dive right into it? I don't know. It was a fun stream on Saturday. For those who weren't around, we were catching up on trailers from the Game Awards, and man, what a superior way to enjoy it. Not have to watch the actual show, and just watch the trailers. We spent like 3 hours watching and talking about Street Fighter 6 stuff. Probably another hour talking about Tekken 8, and then we spent I don't know, 2 hours watching the other 35 trailers. um, we ended up unable to watch the trailer for Space Marine 2, which was unfortunate because that was one of the things I was kind of curious to see. That is a game I am sort of intrigued by, not because I'm a big Warhammer 40k person, but because they are making a sequel, a direct sequel to a, Xbox 360 action game, which obviously there's nothing to say that a new game is going to be structured or play or be in any way similar to the previous one. But given the fact that they are not making a, Warhammer 40k : Ultramarine Assault, whatever, they're not calling it something else. It's literally Space Marine 2. Of all the things they could have called it, of all the things, there's approximately 40,000 new Warhammer games every year. So it could have been anything, but they did call it Space Marine 2. That to me is some sort of an indication of a direction that, to me, as someone who is a fan of short linear action games, is on its surface immediately far more appealing than something like Darktide or whatever other Warhammer things. I mean, it's cool that they put out a lot of stuff, so there's something for everyone. But I also think that fans of short linear action games are underserved, I think, by the current climate of game releases. So the idea of something like that could be, sort of, hewing in that direction, it's exciting. I played through the first Space Marine on stream, actually, back in like 2015, maybe. Back when I probably averaged around 4 viewers per stream, so I don't think a lot of you guys were around to see it. And I thought it was pretty fun. I don't remember it in great detail, but I remember, enjoying it just fine. And, if it's a new game that's somewhat like that, sure, I'm, I may not buy it day one for 80 euros, but I'm curious to, check it out. I think it's a pretty big genre, although AAA releases are focusing less and less on linear action stuff. I mean, I think there is... It's not like, a super niche thing. Like, it's just that, like, the games... Obviously, if you want action, there's plenty of indie stuff, I'm sure, to scratch some of that itch. There's plenty of big games that have good action in them, but like anything, just about anything that comes out of a big studio or from a big publisher, like anything with a name brand associated with, like, for the most part, the general audience, I think, has like been sort of conditioned to expect a level of I don't know, stuff. Either it's some kind of an open world thing, or it's an online co-op thing, or it's just like a really long, big game. You don't see many, 60, 70, whatever, $80 games that you hit new game and you reach credits in 6 to 8 hours. And that's the game. Like that, I feel like very rarely happens nowadays. And anything that is kind of like that feels like sort of a throwback to an Xbox 360 kind of thing. But it's definitely like that has gone from being what games are to like this thing that, like, hey, remember when games were like this? I don't know. That's kind of how I feel. I mean, as kind of evidenced by my lack of interest in a lot of new games, because so many of them just feel overwhelming in their scope. But I love kind of going back to and seeing, stuff that you can pick up at random on Xbox Live or PSN or whatever. It's like, oh man, if I still had any local bargain bins to sift through, I'd find those games and go, man, this seems like something that'd be fun to play through. I could play this over a stream or two and be done with it. I could play this over a weekend and be done with it. And that's That's a rare, much rarer kind of experience nowadays. Like, not to say that everything, like, that you don't have quote unquote linear games at all, but like I said, it's just I think the general expectation of how long a game like that should be, or how big it should be, or what kind of features and modes you would expect in it, like, it's just expectations are different. But I also think there is, whether we're talking about linear action games or something else, I think there is a kind of a mid segment, like a mid-range, mid-budget kind of segment of the market that is still, there's like still a bit of a gap there. Whether it's because there's no demand for that kind of thing, I mean, I couldn't tell you, but obviously there's billions of like tiny indie games. There's these massive, huge games from you know, kind of AAA developers and publishers. You have games that are, you know, that are smaller budget, kind of smaller scope. Something like, I haven't played it, but like Biomutant. I think it's a game that was kind of talked about as a game that presented itself as kind of a AAA sort of experience, but as it turned out, like the scope of it, the polish, like, okay, it wasn't quite, it's like tangibly different. It's tangibly cheaper or smaller or simpler. And I'm sure there's a lot of games like that. Some of them retail at full price, some of them are a little bit cheaper, but even those kinds of games, I feel like they aren't typically polished, tight, high production value 6-hour games. They're still like stretched thinner into these larger experiences to sort of attempt to compete with bigger tentpole games. And stuff that isn't that like kind of polished but small, or like, you know, high production value kind of thing, but still, like, I don't know, I feel like even when you have these like smaller studios doing stuff that makes them stand out, either it's something that just is completely different, you know, something like a Hades or you know, Untitled Goose Game or whatever, or it's something that like is impressive in how closely it manages to resemble a AAA kind of a thing, even though that's not what it is. In any case, I still don't really know what to expect of Space Marine 2, but I did watch the trailer after the stream the other day, and it looks pretty cool. Like, I want to say someone in chat during the stream compared Space Marine 1 to sort of a Musou kind of game. And I don't know that I felt that way about it, really, but I think the sequel gets closer. That was the thing that I thought was kind of cool. Like, it I don't know. I have some hopes for that game. I guess from the trailers, it looks like you're mostly fighting Tyranids, I guess. I was gonna say fake Zerg, but it's the opposite, obviously. I assuming Space Marine did it first, or Warhammer did it first. The bug aliens, or whatever. And there are a bunch of scenes where you're fighting, like, giant crowds of them. And, I don't know, it looked kind of cool. So, yeah, I'm curious to keep my eye on that for sure. But yeah, other than that, like the news on Street Fighter and Tekken 8, exciting stuff. I'm excited to learn more on both these games. The rest of the Game Awards, nothing much for me, but that is entirely to be expected. Yeah, I mean, pretty much everything. Like, Warhammer is very influential in a lot of different ways. I just know that, like, not keeping close eyes on it, I know that both 40k and Warhammer Fantasy change a lot over time, and they add a lot of new stuff and whatever, so it like, you know, I don't know how long Tyranids have been around, or how long Elder has been around, or how long whatever else has been around. I'm sure not all of it has been around since the 80s. But anyway, Space Marine 2 looks like it could be fun. Oh yeah, I wanted to mention too, just on a slight tangent, since we're here just chatting anyway. Flying Wild Hog recently put out a game called Evil West, which I have not been like paying much attention to because it's like, I don't know, I feel like there's been like 6 Wild West, but it's spooky games released in the last like year and a half. And it didn't look like, without looking at it exactly, it didn't seem like something I would think that I would be super interested in. But I was hearing people talk about that game on a few different podcasts, and it seemed like the common sort of thread that people like the recurring thing that people mention about Evil West is that it's like, oh yeah, this is like a 360 game. And hearing more than one person say that, all of a sudden I'm like, dude, I think I want to play this game. So they made, they're the guys who made the Shadow Warrior reboot games. And I played a little bit of the second one, I think, on Game Pass. And like, it has a pretty unbearable style of humor and writing that I didn't much care for. But I thought it had a decent kind of attitude to it, in like outside of the specifics of the writing. It has a kind of lightheartedness and like, you know, doesn't take itself very seriously in a way that I can partially appreciate. I thought it felt pretty decent. Like it has a good feel to the shooting. It's got a bunch of melee combat and stuff. Like, so that's interesting enough. But I also like, it has a very kind of convoluted structure. It's like a loot game, Shadow Warrior, whichever one, the second one, I think. So it's like, it's got that tiresome, like it's not a linear game. Like if it had been a linear, just FPS, you know, campaign with a bunch of levels, I'd probably play through it. But yeah, it's got that whole loot grind map with quests and like, ugh, that just made me really exhausted very quickly. But clearly, you know, those guys got some chops. So yeah, what I hear about Evil West is that it's got like, was it third person also? Maybe, I forget. I don't think I've seen any screenshot or video of it. But basically, it sounds like it's kind of got Devil May Cry combat, and I think I heard that it's like more kind of melee based. And I take it just from the setting alone. The vibes of it are probably going to be at least not like obnoxious in these particular way that Shadow Warrior was. I'm still not about to go out and buy it for, I think it's like, I heard someone mention on one of those podcasts that apparently in the US it's like a $50 game, so it's like not quite full price. And I think I looked it up on the Xbox store and it's like 70 euros or 75 euros or something. So I'm like, nah, you know what? I think I'll pass. Because the thing is, it either will be on Game Pass or it's probably going to be on sale, you know, in 2 months for half off. Like that's kind of how it tends to go. But I'm really intrigued by it because, like, especially if it doesn't have a bunch of loot shit, and especially if I can finish it in like 8 hours, then I'm legitimately excited to actually play that. So, you know, the 360 style game, it's not dead, but it's just, you know, a little bit of a niche. But yeah, so Weird West came out earlier this year, right? And there was that, was it called West of Dead? Is that what it was called? It was one that was like, looked like a kind of a comic book thing. I think it was sort of a top-down isometric. You play as like a skeleton cowboy or whatever. I don't know. That's like a whole genre now that I don't know that any of them do much of anything unique or interesting with. But, you know, East European 360 style character action game in that kind of setting. Yeah, I'll probably sooner play that than an RPG or whatnot. West of Dead devs. So they're the guys making the Hellboy game. That's interesting because I was thinking that it actually, like, that was about what I was going to compare it to. Like, it had, it's a bit of a stretch to say that game had like a Magnolia style to it, but obviously it had the flat colors and everything. But I guess I also had no idea that the Hellboy game is supposed to be a roguelike thing. That's a known quantity. I didn't read anything about that game. I didn't see anything beyond the trailer. I had more than a few misgivings about that Hellboy trailer. Um, the rendering technology looks good, but the animation looked a bit clunky. Like, the animation doesn't live up to the quality of the rendering, but we saw one scene with one character and one monster, so obviously we haven't seen that much of it. So who knows? Steam page describes it as a roguelite action adventure. You know, I would say as far as modern genres, like ubiquitous genres nowadays, I'm not immediately allergic to something describing itself as a roguelike. I mean, there's been more than a handful of games like that I've been super, kind of addicted to off and on. I do think it's like, it'd be nice sometimes to get something that isn't that, but comparing it to, say, how I get really sick of so many platform games feeling compelled to be a Metroid kind of thing, like, that makes me a bit tired, because I'm usually not, like, I like Metroid, but Metroid style games that I actually enjoy, and especially that I actually finish, that aren't Metroid, are very few and far between. So I'd like to see more linear action platformers. But something having a roguelike-esque structure is not something that I mind per se. I wouldn't say that I'm especially like appealed to it, as, you know, if I see something that looks okay and I hear that it's got like a rogue structure, that doesn't in itself make me go, ooh, I have to play it now. But sure, why not? I feel like with Hellboy, I would probably instinctively want something that is more maybe narrative driven. But who knows? It could have cool creatures and cool fun stuff. At the very least, curious to learn more. But enough about that. Game Award stuff was fun. Trailers, video game news, exciting. We're here for Games Bond. So, let us check out what is on the agenda for tonight. We are going to be playing, of course, the game James Bond 007, The Spy Who Loved Me. Mission 8 out of 50 of the original lineup of 50 games. There will be more, most likely.
It's but like one of my Japanese animes.
Just like anime, pretty much. I mean, that's the impression we got from the film, of course. But we have some research to do before we can jump into the mission. Let's see if does the Q command work? Doesn't look like it's really. Okay, let's investigate. I vaguely recall there being a some weirdness going on with some of my streamer bot stuff. Let's just see. Well, anyway, we can check on the info anyway, because I wanted to do that either way. Boom. I don't think that's... Wait, did I break something here? No. Okay, never mind. It's fine. I thought that I'd seen the number and it was lower, but it went up, of course, because of the sub Itinerant Soldier sub earlier today at the beginning of the stream. But let me quickly check in on the Q. Quick status check command. It is... Okay, toggle. Yeah, it appears to be doing... Oh, yeah, okay. Disable that. Let's... Okay. So the chat command exists. don't know if it shouldn't be case sensitive. And either way, as it actually is defined, it's with a lowercase q. So that should work. Oh, yeah. Start. Okay. Versus Twitch message. Hold down. Okay. Just see. All right. So I can use it. Could there be... Let me just double check that I didn't make something... Group permissions. VIPs. Loud. Okay, no. No one is set to deny. Can someone who isn't me try to use the command again in chat? I can't find anything here that should prevent people from using it. Like, there is an option to allow or prevent... Oh boy, let's see if something... more people does it. Okay, alright. Clearly, there's something... that seems to be the... That seems to be the thing, right? No one is allowed to use it except me. Maybe? I don't know. So this... because it's like connecting to StreamerBot, I'm using StreamerBot's chat command thing to do this. My other chat commands are using Nightbot. So I'm a little unfamiliar with setting up StreamerBot chat commands. But in the options thing here, there's a thing where I can put either groups, like user groups or individual users, in a either whitelist, like allowing people to do that, or in a blacklist, preventing people from doing it. But it's all set to like deny, like blacklist kind of mode, with with no one put in the blacklist. So moderators, subscribers, and VIPs. But there's like there isn't even a group that's defined as like regular people. So I don't even know what I could be doing here. I mean, technically What is... Like, I could put everyone who's like, and there's a long ass list of like everyone who's been in the chat room, I guess. I can allow people to use the command, but that's obviously absurd. I shouldn't have to do that. Allow all, or maybe, oh, okay. So if I set it to allow, but don't actually put anyone in the list, this is highly confusing. So as far as the UI looks on my end, it looks like currently no one is allowed to use the command. But if someone in chat tries to use the command now, and if multiple people try it, it's gonna probably break, but that's fine. We can at least see if the command fires off. There we go. Okay. So the secret to allowing people to use the command is to set it up in such a way so that it appears that no one will be allowed to use it. Then it works for everyone. Okay, glad we got that solved. Yeah, top secret information. The awesome phone. Is that me, or is it a bearded Brendan Fraser? Who knows? Who knows? Maybe I have been a bearded Brendan Fraser all along. You never know. Anyway, thank you guys for helping me get to the bottom of that. We have figured this out as we eke ourselves ever so slightly closer to the first goal, the first of several top secret bonus missions. But before we delve deeper in any of the secret missions, we have our official on the books standard mission. I was going to say real mission. The secret ones are real too, but this is closer at hand. Well, let's go over the information that we got here. Mission number 8. James Bond 007, The Spy Who Loved Me. Available for a whole slew of home computers, including the Amiga, the Atari ST, the Commodore 64, the Amstrad CPC, IBM compatibles on MS-DOS, etc. I can check on my end. I'm assuming etc. basically means ZX Spectrum. It includes MSX, ZX Spectrum, and BBC Micro. This might be the game that has the most different versions, actually. Oh, no, sorry, my bad. I was misreading that. License to Kill was on the MSX and Micro. Spy Who Loved Me is on Amiga, C64, Amstrad, ST, DOS, ZX Spectrum, and I think that's it. Yeah. As is usually the case with these multi-computer games, I take the Amiga version to kind of be the default, the de facto standard original version, with the others kind of being either derivative of that version or just kind of based on it or lesser versions of it. But sometimes, you know, the other versions have some cool stuff going for them. So we will certainly attempt to take a look, at least, at some of those other versions. But we will start with the Amiga version, and I'm pretty confident that we will spend the extent of tonight's stream just with the Amiga version. Before we even get started, we have a little bit more research to do anyway, so we will get that info sorted, and then we will begin with the Amiga version and move on to some of the other ones. Maybe tonight, but more likely on upcoming streams. Kosaw, greetings, welcome. Why not? I don't think I said hi to you. Yes, they did have a license to kill, but apparently not to the actor likenesses. Which is kind of a funny, interesting thing, because that changes a little bit here and there with different games. Sometimes they clearly put the actor on the box, or even in the game, but don't really ever mention them by name. Sometimes, like this, like, it's actually interesting. We'll get to that, because we have some, we're going to take a closer look at the box art, and the back of the box, and the manual, and everything. It's actually a pretty cool box, and we, having watched the movie, it's like, hey, they actually put, like, everything that's on the cover is, like, from the movie, so that's pretty good. James Bond returns in a classic action-packed race against time to save the world from the crazed and power-mad Karl Stromberg. Exhilarating chase sequences on land and beneath the sea involve Q's specially modified Lotus, souped up and armed to the teeth. With one-on-one arcade-style shootouts, multi-level action, and top-secret codes to crack, this is the fastest-paced and most exciting Bond thriller to date. They're promising quite a bit here. But, you know, as we've seen over the course of the 80s, as we've explored them through Bond games, with the exception of the text adventures, there were two games basically done on, like, the same engine. Every single game has been very different from the last, and they've all had very different takes on how to kind of recreate the Bond formula. And, you know, there's a lot of different things that come in the Bond package. Driving, shooting, you know, stealth, espionage, sexy ladies, I don't know, platforming, stunts, and a lot of different things you can kind of build a Bond game around. What's up, Macaw45? Bond is back. He's Bond, and he's back, and additionally, he is also 007. Incredible. I don't even know what to make of that little bullet list. It's like he's Bond, he's back, he's 007. All right, let's just cut it there. Can't think of more. Like, he's, I don't know. He's bold. He's bigger and badder than ever. I don't know. Yeah, what was it? Was it License to Kill? It was like adventure beyond all other Bonds or whatever it said. Like, that was pretty good. In fact, why don't we check? Maybe it was only back. Yeah, of course, he's Bond is out on his own and out for revenge. That was like a tagline from the movie. Was it? Not this one. The other. I might have just been on the back of the box. Or no, maybe it was. Shit, we're just going back in time here. Whoop, that's the same one. There we go. Adventure above and beyond all other bonds. That's pretty good. I don't know if it was. I don't know if this game in particular was an adventure above and beyond all other bonds, but, you know, arguably compared to the ones that have come before it, maybe. But I digress. Bond is back, and he's 007. Bonder than ever. Yes. Yes. So. Let's take a closer look, shall we? He's Bond, and he's back. He's 007. Establish that. He looks absolutely nothing like Roger Moore, but for a generic James Bond, I mean, you know, he's got the posture, he's got the tuxedo, he's unmistakably James Bond, right? Well, I mean, he kind of looks a little bit like a James Bond pastiche on account of not actually recognizably having the face of any of the Bond actors. But, you know, assuming someone didn't try and fail to draw Roger Moore, it's okay. He's Bond enough. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I guess they couldn't say that he's Bonder than ever, above and beyond all other Bonds. You know, beyond Bond. Because he's like adequately Bond at best. I guess they were a little bit, or maybe they just have to reassure us. Like, no, he is Bond. He's back. He is 007, okay? Don't question it. Him. I'm not sure. We got, what's her name? Anya Amasova? I don't remember the actress's name. Her eye seems a little bit, should be a little bit further to the right, I feel like. But she looks good. I think she, not necessarily a dead ringer likeness-wise to the actress, but, like, you can obviously tell it's that character. And, yeah, we watched the movie, and I had some mixed feelings on it. I think the first half of it was pretty limp. There's, like, 5 scenes with Jaws, and he's, like, completely fucking inept. Every Jaws fight scene is, like, the slowest, most clunky and awkward shit you've ever seen. It always ends with Jaws being, like, incapacitated to the point where he logically probably should be dead, but because he's an invincible monster, he just comes back. Which is cool. I like that part. I think it's pretty sick, like, conceptually. Like, it makes for a good Bond henchman type character to basically be, like, a slasher killer, you know? Someone who just keeps coming back. But the problem is that every time he does show up, he's like, you know, as I noted when we watched the film, he's basically got the athleticism of Andre the Giant. He's like slowly leaning over on things and just like imposing his height on someone and slowly and awkwardly trying to bite someone's neck to kill them when he could like just fucking clobber them or shoot them with a gun for that matter. But no, he has to bite them, which is like, okay, he's got metal teeth. That's cool. It's fun that you try to incorporate it, but it like it makes him a fucking terrible assassin. So like, I can see why he became kind of a recurring fan favorite kind of a character. He's a great character. Richard Kiel has like a tremendous kind of presence, but he's terrible at anything remotely like approaching action. He's not convincing at all. So like the first half of the movie is a bit iffy, but then the second half really like things really take off. Like Stromberg goes full Bond villain in a really good way. There's some like fucking incredible sets. So this right here, we see, is pretty cool. This is from the film. This is like his ocean stronghold. So a lot of the climax of the film takes place not in this location, but inside of a giant tanker that also has like, it's like a mobile Bond villain lair. And all that shit is fucking awesome. And there's like giant giant shootouts, because like the action for the first half of the movie is like pretty blah, and then in the like in the second half, like, because the plot of the movie is that Stromberg basically is stealing nuclear submarines from Soviet and the UK, and I think there's like an American sub as well. Basically, he's like stealing a bunch of nuclear subs so that he can use them to fire off nukes and basically guarantee mutually assured destruction, because he wants civilization to end so that he can start a new prosperous civilization on the bottom of the ocean. He's a fucking lunatic. Of course he is. He's a Bond villain. It's a pretty good Bond villain plot. I like it. But so in the end, you know, they have all the crews from these kidnapped submarines, and they all like sort of break out from their imprisonment, and everyone gets guns, and there's this giant like battle with all these American and British submarine crew members against Stromberg's like uniformed henchmen in a proper lair. Like, that shit's sick. And even like the basic premise, right, is that because Stromberg has been stealing submarines from the Soviet as well as from the British, Bond is like, MI6 sends Bond to investigate, and like Soviet, like KGB or whoever, they send Agent Triple X, aka this lady, to investigate. But then at some point when they realize that they have a common goal, they have to like cooperate. And I think that's actually a pretty brilliant kind of plot device. Like, it's a fun concept. You have Bond have to kind of coordinate and cooperate with someone else who is like kind of a rival. Obviously, because she's a sexy lady and he's Roger Moore, they like fall in love and whatever. But there's a little bit of tension there. I think they have good chemistry in the film. But it's, you know, I think that's a good setup. So there's a lot of stuff that I think is good throughout the movie, but the first half of it is just a little bit limp. And I was like, for the first hour, I was ready to easily call this movie the worst of the ones we've watched. But the second half really picks up. And overall, I wouldn't say it's near my favorite, even of the ones we've seen now, but it was pretty enjoyable. And it has, like, if you write like a checklist of all the like the good shit in the film, it's got some really good shit. Bond gets Q gadgets like at 3 different times in the film, I think. It has to be some kind of record. It's got a preposterous Bond car. It has an amazing evil lair. It's a good villain in general. Got a big ass shootout. The soundtrack, I recall, was very strange, and it has a weird tone in general, but not too bad. Not too bad. I don't have View to a Kill for worst. No, I think View to a Kill, it's funny just how the things worked out. You know, we watched View to a Kill and Goldfinger back to back, which I think is the most unkind comparison you can give of View to a Kill, because the plot, the villain's plot, is like very similar in both films, and Goldfinger is so much better. I know that A View to a Kill is like a popular choice for one of the worst Bond films, but to me, aside from the fact that like I have, it's one that I think I had it on VHS when I was a kid, and I had the comic book adaptation of it, so it was just it's not even a matter of quality, but it had a ubiquitous presence in my childhood, which means I will always have kind of a fondness for that film. But aside from that, like, I think it has some really good stuff in it. Like the fire engine chase in San Francisco is actually pretty sick. The yeah, the Golden Gate, like the finale, is a good fight. The um, the whole like mine sequence at the end is also like pretty cool. I think I mean, it has the best theme song maybe of all Bond films. That counts for something. And I think it's you know, it's got fucking secret Nazi experiments and a villainous blimp. I think Mayday is awesome. I think Zorin is a bit like underwhelming. I think Christopher Walken, I want to say like that was one of his earlier roles, if I'm not mistaken. The role was written for David Bowie, which would have been very interesting, but apparently he had like zero interest in doing it. So they were like, oh, okay. Yeah, Dolph Lundgren shows up for about 2 seconds. It's, you know, it's got some weak parts, but overall, like, it has some fun ideas and moments and things in it, but it's not like great. I think we're gonna have to do at some point a ranking of these films. I'm not really ready. I don't have it formalized here, but maybe we'll come back to it. I would say, I don't know, as far as like my least favorite or the weakest, I would say that Live and Let Die is maybe vying for that spot, because that has like amazing villains and awesome tone and atmosphere, but the story is pretty whatever, and it kind of limps along a bit in the end. It's very like high and low, like all the villains are sick, they're really cool, but all of them go out like in incredibly embarrassing ways. So it's a little anticlimactic. There aren't really a lot of memorable cool action set pieces in that one either. So that's maybe the weaker one so far, I'd have to say. But I enjoyed all of them so far. There hasn't been one that I didn't enjoy. But it'll be fun. It'll be fun to watch more films. Never really liked Live and Let Die. I think it's objectively Roger Moore's best performance. It's funny to think that he was older than Sean Connery, because in Live and Let Die, that was what, 12 years before A View to a Kill? But he looks like fucking 35 years younger. Like especially in that turtleneck shirt, like he looks fucking great. And yeah, he's got like a good, charming energy to him. He's a bit of a dick, but yeah, I didn't mind Roger Moore in that film at all. Like he was not the none of the actors, like the acting was fine in that film overall. But I think it's also fair to say that some of the later Moore films got a little more goofy and comedic. And he kind of hams it up more. I mean, which I think he did well. But yeah. Tonally, some of these films are quite different from one another. We saw the trailer to Octopussy after this, because that's the next movie game that we're going to be playing. And even just from the trailer, Octopussy looks like maximum schlock, which I'm so excited because I think that's going to be fun. But it's pretty different from some of the other ones. But that's fun with Bond. Like they can be, it's like a pendulum swing, you know, it kind of goes back and forth. Sometimes it's very schlocky, sometimes it's like very steeped in some genre. You know, like Live and Let Die has that kind of blaxploitation element to it. Moonraker obviously has got the whole sci-fi thing. Some of them are much more like thrillers. Some of them are more goofy, you know, kind of kid-friendly adventures. But I enjoy that variety. I think that's good part of the fun. Yeah, I think I vaguely recall Octopussy also being at the very least, a divisive film. One Man Conga, what's up? What is the Bond movie formula? I mean, there's not a singular template. That, as I said, like there's a good variety, but I think you could easily make like a bingo board of like Bond film elements, and I wouldn't say that a good one has to check in a quota of minimum boxes on that board. But you could certainly say that if it checks, like the more of them they check, the more of a Bond film it is. And I don't remember which one it was, but it was one film we watched where in chat we were kind of in agreement that I don't know if it's the best film, but it's the most Bond film so far. It just had all of that stuff in spades. And some of them, kind of don't. Like License to Kill, I think, in some ways, is a very unconventional Bond film, but I think it works. Not only is it like my favorite of the ones we watched so far, easily, but it does, like, throughout its runtime towards the third act, like it incorporates more and more. It builds, like it starts in a very different type of place, but eventually it allows for more like typical Bond elements to kind of seep into it in a pretty organic way that I really enjoy. But some Bond tropes are fun. Some of them are definitely quite groan-worthy. But, as with any film series that have gone on for decades and decades, how you would even define that kind of formula kind of changes with time as well. Is there a dating sim? A Bond dating sim? Dude, imagine fucking Bond Academy, and you got all the different Bonds. You have to romance your favorite Bond. That'd be pretty good. That'd be pretty good. Anyway, let's see what we can learn about the back of the box. Got Roger Moore's name on the box. Yeah, Barbara Bach, I guess, is Amasova. Bert Jurgens was, what's his name? Carl Stromberg. James Bond returns in a classic action-packed race against time to save the world from the crazed and power-mad Carl Stromberg. Use your skills to end the threat of global domination as you seek to outwit Stromberg's mercenaries and prevent a nuclear war between East and West. Exhilarating chase sequences on land and under the sea involve Q's specially modified Lotus, souped up and armed to the teeth. With one-on-one arcade-style shootouts, multi-level action, and top-secret codes to crack, this is the fastest-paced and most exciting Bond thriller to date. Don't miss out on The Spy Who Loved Me, a programming tour de force. Now that's those are some big words. A programming tour de force. I don't know, it looks like a pretty graphical tour de force here. Looks, on its surface, kind of similar. Like, this looks a lot like stage 1 of License to Kill. We've got a fancy Amiga HUD on the far right-hand side of the screen there. Oh, we got some blueprints. 007 submarine car. Oh, dude. Holy shit. Look at this. All right, so this is... I guess this looks like it's inside. We probably drive... It's like a Spy Hunter, I guess. We drive into a truck. Or we get a side view close-up. So either this is some kind of cinematic scene, or it's some highly elaborate Amiga menu screen where we click on things or pick options or something. But it kind of looks like we're seeing a cross-section of like a 18-wheeler or something, right? Dude, look, this is this is from the end of the film. These are the henchmen, the uniformed bad guys, I guess. That we're gonna go full like fucking Operation Wolf, or is this like a side-scroller thing? Is one of these figures Bond? Like it describes a fucking one-on-one arcade-style shootouts. See, this is all I knew of the game. I've just seen the first like 5 seconds of the game, where it's all like top-down vertical scrolling. But the same was true for License to Kill. I'd seen this vertical scrolling top-down thing, and then you read on the back of the box, and the manual describes like 6 different levels. And I'm like, dude, this game's gonna be crazy. Like, it's got all this shit. And then in the actual game, every single level is like this top-down vertical scrolling thing. Now, that was still a really cool game. And it had a lot of different scenarios that were all very good representations of action scenes from the film, which is awesome. But this has, you know, so even with this description, it could all be vertical scrolling top-down stuff. But even if it is, it has scenes like this. Okay, but this looks like a crosshair, right? So I'm guessing this is a full-on fucking shooting gallery Operation Wolf thing. So be pretty good. Hope it has the papier-mâché iceberg. It's got ski. It's like the third Bond film that has a big skiing set piece. I just remember the opening scene is like, it's really weird because this film starts. It doesn't start with like a big action scene. It starts with like one of the submarines getting disappeared. And then I think we see the Russian one also get disappeared. And then, yeah, Bond is introduced in bed with some lady when he's called into action, and then he has to ski away and casually murders this lady's boyfriend because he's a Russian agent, I guess. Yeah, I just remember that skiing thing. And there's like this big stunt, right, where he like jumps off a ledge and does a big parachute thing, which is kind of cool. Yeah, of course the music is kind of silly and stupid. Dude, holy shit! Are we gonna go full fucking Punch Out against Jaws? We got a little tiny Stromberg hiding behind Jaws. Okay, this game looks like it could be the sickest Bond game. This could be an adventure above and beyond all other Bonds. Okay, I'm stoked. Okay, so this clearly looks like it's gonna deliver on the multi-level action. Top secret codes to crack. Well, we have access to the manual, so we will get probably a description of the different levels here. So let's check that out. I think we have... yeah, give me a second to set this up. Yeah, dude, I'm it looks like the game's gonna start off pretty, you know, in moderation, and then it's gonna go completely off the rails towards the end. That is exciting. So if I put in this URL, is that gonna work out well? Let's find out. Okay, let me interact with this, and I am already a monthly donor to the Internet Archive, so I think I'm good. And all right, there we go. So this is a multilingual English Italiano manual, but I think we'll stick to the English one. Although I'm noticing right now, the composition here is fucking way better. Like the characters are actually in the center, and there's a fucking helicopter over on the right, and the like all these submarines and shit. There's the frogmen underneath the Domark logo on the left-hand side. Like, why is the box not like this? Clearly, this is how it was painted. This is the actual composition, the actual illustration. But they just cropped out the rightmost third of it. That is so bizarre. I don't get it. I'm up, like retroactively upset. Yeah, you can see the cover right there, right? Like, see how it's cropped when there's like, man, why did they do that? I'm annoyed. Like the composition is better, and we're seeing more cool action bits, and they just cut a bunch of it off for no apparent reason. The game. James Bond and Soviet agent Anya Amasova form an unlikely alliance in this most famous of Bond's escapades. Is this the most famous of Bond's escapades? Citation needed on that one, I think. Together, they must investigate the recent disappearance of two submarines, one Russian and one British. Microfilm evidence suggests that they have been stolen by the power-mad Karl Stromberg. You are dispatched to Sardinia to investigate Stromberg's plans at his underwater fortress Atlantis. To assist you in your mission, Q has provided his revolutionary submarine car, which, when kitted out, is armed to the teeth with a fantastic array of weaponry. Oh, dude, we get all the stats. Can I don't know. Can I, like, zoom? How does this work? Nope, I didn't mean to do that. And nope. Can I do? Nope. Nope. Not what I meant to do. I think I zoomed in even further. Okay. I see. So, okay. So we can just scroll. Okay, okay. There we go. I'm learning the controls here. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the weird, because obviously the illustration, it continues further up. That's the thing. It's cropped on the side, but it's cropped a bunch on the bottom as well, and maybe the top. It doesn't seem like it would be the wrong format. Or even if it was, they could have cropped a little bit of the left-hand side and still put the characters in the center, and you would still be able to fit. Like, even if you crop half of Atlantis there on the left, you'd still be able to fit in... you'd still be able to fit in the helicopter. I don't know. Let's not get too hung up on that. Let's actually read. Q's equipment list. I love this shit. Detailed stats. It's like full fucking armored core. On land, offensive weapons, machine gun, missile launcher, ground-to-air missiles, rear defenses, smoke gun, paint jet, vehicle armor. Yeah, so the paint jet, that's in the film, right? They shoot out a bunch of paint on the windshield of Jaws' car. Underwater, offensive weapons, explosive bolts, 4-way, torpedoes, 8-way, laser gun. We're gonna go full Amiga shmup. Is this like Xenon 2? Rear defenses, vehicle armor. Speedboat. Offensive weapon, missile launcher, defensive weapon, smoke gun. I'm trying to remember. Is there a speedboat thing that happens in the film? I don't recall. Wet bike. Is that what it was called? There was definitely a name brand for his like jet ski that Q mailed a jet ski. Because like when everything is all over at the end or whatever, he still they've like successfully averted the nuclear strikes, but Bond still goes alone to face off against Stromberg on his, I guess, wet bike. Offensive weapons, machine gun, 4-way, micro missiles, 3-way, laser gun, defensive weapon, vehicle armor. Everything's got vehicle armor. That's good. All weapons are available from the Q truck or as packages, which can be collected en route. So yeah, it doesn't. I guess we have limited resources for all these different weapons, and we have to enter the Q truck, collect them. I guess we'll have this explained. Oh, I do remember the speedboat now, actually. Not from the film, but from the game. Alright. Scene 1. Bond and Anya collect the car from Q at the harbor and drive to their hotel. Take this opportunity to practice your driving skills and learn how to handle the car. Which makes it sound like it's going to be a casual stroll, but I'm sure we're going to be able to game over at this opening tutorial. There is a time limit. You have to get to the hotel in time to catch a boat, which will take you to your meeting with Stromberg. Of course, they're going to turn that into a game element. But hey, that's why we're here. Use the car's terrific handling to avoid innocent people and traffic as you hurtle along the twisting roads to your destination. Drive over Q tokens to buy extra weapons for use in later scenes. This already sounds like kind of involved. Like, I'm getting pretty hyped here because all the information we have, all the screenshots we've seen, does imply to me that this is going to be the best game ever. Well, I mean, not the best game ever made, but top one of the 8 games we've played so far in this project. Which is fun, you know. Every new game we play, there's like new interesting twists and turns and new takes on the Bond concept. And so far, no game has really been a letdown compared to what came before. Some of them have been letdowns compared to the promise of their concept. But I think like every single game we've played, I've kind of come away from more positive than I went in. So hopefully that same thing will apply here. Having picked up the speedboat, Bond must travel out to Stromberg's Atlantis, avoiding innocent swimmers, wooden piers, and Stromberg's agents whose speedboats follow in hot pursuit. Wasn't he invited there? Why are they in hot pursuit? Sorry, I'm just caught my foot on something and now I'm bleeding profusely. I'm just trying not to bleed all over my pants. We'll be fine. Sorry about that. Cause yeah, that's like he doesn't drive the speedboat or anything, but they go to the harbor and they meet up with Stromberg's assistant lady, right? And she picks them up in the boat. So this scene is somewhat embellished from the film, but that's cool. It makes for more video game action. Scene 2. Having completed their meeting with Stromberg, Bond and Anya head back to their hotel. However, Stromberg's suspicions are aroused and he orders them killed. Drive into the Q truck to buy weapons and to repair your car using the Q tokens you have collected. Oh, dude. First on-screen appearance by Lord Q. Check it out. Q and Bond just hanging out. That is pretty sick. That is pretty sick. I'm excited about this. Like, it was a cool enough screenshot when we just saw the car. But then we have actual Bond and Q hanging out. Can't wait. But with no other description of gameplay or anything, I'm guessing scene 2 is like the same thing, but we drive the other direction, I guess. I don't know if it's going to scroll downwards, but at least we don't probably get massive new gameplay features here. All right. Oh, okay, we get... James decides to have another look at Atlantis from underwater. You can only get into this scene by obtaining underwater capability from Q. Use the extra weapons provided by Q to destroy large enemies. Alright, looks like we're going full shoot 'em up, but this is still the description of scene 2. So does scene 2 start with a driving section that like loops until we can get into the Q truck and get the underwater thing? Or maybe the stage 2 starts in the Q truck and we just have our however many tokens we collected from scene 1 to determine what we can get, but we need to get the underwater capability. It's a little confusing, but that's cool. Like, we can get some kind of sense of what's going to happen with plenty of room for surprises. Scene 3 is indeed 16-bit versions only. So I guess that would mean Amiga and ST. The Amstrad CPC a 16-bit computer? I'm not sure. Bond's visit to Atlantis confirms his suspicions about Stromberg. An American nuclear submarine is sent to destroy Atlantis. Bond joins Anya on board. That's right, that's where the American sub... That's the whole thing in the film, yeah, because that's why Bond is wearing his, like, naval uniform for the second half of the film. That's right. God. However, Stromberg is one step ahead of the game and has the American sub captured and hidden inside a huge hollow supertanker. Bond escapes and releases the crews from the British, Russian, and American submarines. Together, they launch an attack, only to find that Stromberg is in the control room, safe behind armor-plated steel. Bond takes a detonator from the sub's nuclear missile and climbs onto a security camera in a death-defying mission to blow a hole in the shielding. This is all in the film. Defend Bond from the guards who rush out to attack him. Watch out for the enemy divers in the water. They will pop up anywhere. Remember, you must keep Bond safe until the nuclear charge explodes. Shoot magazines for extra ammunition. So this is legit full fucking Operation Wolf, but we're not playing as Bond. We're playing as Bond's unnamed protector. That is actually kind of cool. Alright, so we have a score, ammo meter, like a gauge, and lives. I wonder if that's health on the far right, maybe? James Bond's crosshair shooter. Yeah, we don't have a tiny little... Well, we do have a tiny little Bond on screen, but not that we control. It's just full-on cursor mode. So I wonder if this... Will this support the mouse, I wonder? Because this seems like it would be a little bit clunky on joystick. Interesting. The first Bond game where you are one of the characters... Yeah. We're playing as our own self-insert character. I'm trying to think, like, is there anything so far where we have technically done something that could be described as not controlling Bond? I don't know. This might be a first. Definitely the first time we are interacting with Bond as another character. So, this is probably just this single screen. So I guess that thing is the far right. Maybe that's supposed to be the shielded control room, and this Bond has to like slowly travel from left to right. That's intriguing. So I guess scene 2 is this like underwater shoot 'em up. So maybe it isn't so much reused from the first stage. Oh. Scene 4. Bond and the submarine crews rush into the control room only to find that they're too late. Stromberg has escaped, taking Anya with him as hostage. His last action was to reprogram the British and Russian subs with their deadly nuclear missiles targeted on New York and Moscow. The resulting explosions will plunge the world into nuclear war while he hides beneath the waves in Atlantis. Bond has only one chance. To reprogram the targeting computer with the coordinates of the submarines before they reach their launch sites. Submarine 1. Okay, so we got important copy protection knowledge here, it looks like. 039-048 038-022. Match the master sequence of symbols with the symbols generated by your entered number sequence. Be quick. You have only one chance to stop Stromberg and his plans for global domination. How are you supposed to decipher these instructions? Like, I know, of course, what we have to do. Like, we instruct Submarine 1 to fire on Submarine 2, and vice versa. But what does match the master sequence of symbols with the symbols generated by your entered number sequence? Can someone tell me what that sentence means? I'm a little perplexed. Like, I'm excited because this seems like a cool stage. This reminds me of the Batman movie game on the Amiga, where there's a stage where you have to, like, basically you play around of Mastermind to, like, figure out the Smilex formula. The answer is yes. I suppose so. We'll probably figure it out when we get there. Well, the opponent, I think we have no choice but to figure it out when we get there. I'm just a little concerned that the first time we get there, we will most likely game over having no understanding of why. And we have to play through 2 or 3 impossible levels to get there again. But trying to figure it out might be exciting. So we'll see. We'll see. That's awesome, though. Like, such a cool variety of different things. Like, so this is a little different from the film, because this is what they do. Like, the 2 submarines sort of are ordered to fire on each other. Which, if you think about it, like, I guess the submarines are all staffed with Stromberg's zealots, so maybe it's considered good riddance. But you'd think they'd be able to fire the missiles off into fucking nowhere instead of each other and blowing shit up, but I don't know. But what they do is basically, you know, they get the coordinates of each of the submarines and have people, you know, message them, like send, you know, fax, whatever, with the coordinates, and that's it. But of course, you know, you have to make a video gamey challenge out of it. So now we have this symbol pattern matching game, which I guess we'll just have to see if we can manage to figure out. Scene 5. The U.S. commander has orders to destroy Atlantis, even though Anya is still hostage. Bond is given 1 hour to rescue her. Using the specially modified wet bike flown in by Q, he must destroy its outer defenses and enter Atlantis. Q has airdropped packages onto the surface for you to collect. Use these to destroy the various craft which are determined to stop you reaching your destination. I'm impressed even just reading this. This seems like we're right back to License to Kill, and it's like pretty faithful adherence. Like, yeah, it skips parts of the movie. Like, most of the game is in the second half of the film. But as I mentioned, that's where like most of the cool stuff happens. Like the whole thing where they go to Cairo is not in the game at all. Even though you could have an amazing like Jaws, you know, cat and mouse chase level in the fucking pyramids. That's fine. Like, but the stuff that is here is all like, there's no filler where they came up with some nonsense. Like the first stages are a little bit of a stretch maybe, but you know, obviously if the car is such a key thing, you want to feature that in the game. And I'm surprised that there's so much variety, because in my mind, my impression was that this game was all about, like, it was all Spy Hunter. But I guess that's like stage 1. So that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So I'm a little bit unsure of this screenshot here. The whole bottom, because it looks like he's driving, he's facing upwards, right? It's like a vertical scrolling thing. Did he drive through some kind of gate? Or is this the bottom thing part of the HUD somehow? I don't know. I'm intrigued to see how this plays out. But it sounds like it's kind of, we're on a wet bike, but otherwise it seems similar to stage 1 and 2, maybe. But still, you know, even if it's mechanically similar, it's still kind of wearing a different skin, which is cool. Scene 6. So it sounds like the 8-bit versions are considerably shorter. Bond runs down the corridors of Atlantis looking for Anya. Here he encounters Stromberg's forces and the enormous bone-crunching henchman, Jaws. Hold off Stromberg's bodyguard until Stromberg panics and makes a run for it. Watch out, the near-invincible Jaws has remained behind to settle old scores. Not much old scores to settle here, because in the game we haven't even seen him until now, but that's fine. Stromberg looks so funny. Hold off Stromberg's bodyguard. So that would be Jaws, right? Or is there other bodyguard, singular or plural? Until Stromberg panics and makes a run for it. Does that mean that I, like, when he does panic, that's my opening to shoot him? Or does that mean that he's gonna, I don't know, fucking run off and get himself killed? We'll just have to figure it out when we get there, I suppose. Guide Bond using joystick or keyboard. Sounds like no mouse control. Welp. Press fire to shoot and launch extra weapons. Hold down the fire key to operate the car's defense systems. Okay. But tap to shoot, hold to, I don't know, to the gas bomb or paint jet or whatever. Fire / enter. Maybe that means enter the Q truck. H key for hold / pause. That's good to know. 8-bit. Follow on-screen instructions. Okay. The loading instructions, I reckon, not going to be too relevant. Author's note. The programmers would like to thank you for purchasing this, their 5th Bond game, and to remind you that they are on royalties, so please don't pirate this game. Whose 5th Bond game is this? It's not the 5th Domark release. Unless there's 4, like... No, okay, I guess looking at the list, it actually is the 5th Domark release. Domark released the View to a Kill Impossible C64 game, and they released The Living Daylights, Live and Let Die, License to Kill, and The Spy Who Loved Me. Well, there you go. This is, I suppose, the 5th, but far from the last Domark game. They had a pretty firm grip, well, a loose grip, you might say, of the Bond license, because there's other non-Domark games throughout here. But anyway, that's interesting. Viruses. Many discs returned to us contain viruses, causing games to stop loading. Do not accept pirated games, as they often contain virus programs which can ruin your entire software collection. Always write protect your discs to prevent infection. I mean, that's, I guess, good advice, but do pirated games often contain virus programs? Or, I mean, did they back then? Was it a common problem that I had received virus-infested pirated floppy disks? I run them in my computer. The virus lingers so that when I insert my legitimately purchased copy of Domark's The Spy Who Loved Me, that disk now has become infected, so I have to send it back to them to get it replaced or fixed. That's not a scenario I feel, you know, it's too familiar to my experience, but who knows? All right. I think we'll skip the Italian instructions. Let's just see if there's anything else. Piracy is theft. All right. There you go. Programmed by the Kremlin. Whoa, 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 whoa. I didn't mean to do that. Wanted to see if there's something else going on there, but whatever. That's the manual. I think we are sufficiently hyped up and prepared for The Spy Who Loved Me on the Commodore Amiga. It's nice to know that the once we get to like the C64 version and maybe other versions, they will at least be shorter, and hopefully that means they'll be easier, because I have a feeling the Amiga one is not going to be easy. Without having looked too closely right now, I would imagine that we probably have access to a version with some kind of trainer. But I believe I saw, I should double check, as I was looking up the manual, it would seem that there are actual honest-to-God cheat codes in this game. Yes, there appears to be a cheat code that will allow us to get unlimited money, unlimited lives, and a level select skip. So that is something worth keeping in mind. We will, of course, experience the game as intended first, at the very least. We will play and see to whatever extent it's impossible. And if we are forced, if left as our last resort, you know, we will use cheat codes rather than give up and choose not to see the rest of the game. So, like I said, if it comes to it, we'll cheat, but we'll try it our hand legitimately first and see how that goes. Let's not forget to bring up the timer, so we're good to go. I have my trusty fake USB Super Nintendo controller. That'll do just fine. So let me set up my Commodore Amiga. And actually, do I even have the game? Spy Who Loved Me. Yeah, okay. Let's just do some extracting. Like we have two different dumps, so we'll see if we'll get a cool crack show or two. by not dropping classic virus lore. I mean, I'm not disputing the fact that there were viruses or that could happen. The scenario that they describe just sounds a little funny. And I mean, obviously, it would be in Domark's best interest to make people freak out and be scared of piracy. So it's understandable. It's not quite accurate to at least my experience. Alright, that's that set up. Let's see if we got the controls for 2 USB gamepad. I think that's it. So rid of these jams and boot it up. More weird silent cracktros or more of a trainer. Okay. Unlimited lives. Nope. Unlimited ammunition. Nope. Unlimited money. Nope. Money equals 999. Nope. I go in pure. Oh, there we go. You right click to toggle all the options, and then you left click to actually start. All right, we got some phone numbers and addresses here. Some BBSs. Pure unadulterated Bond gaming. Yes, that is correct. I hope you're ready for some jams, by the way. The power of the jams in this game will not be topped. Not before, not since. Adjusting tracking. How sick is that? Fucking fake VHS effects? On a fucking Amiga game? Holy crap.
Check this out. Hit it. Oh yeah.
Oh, this looks kind of sick. There's like a full map on the left. I'm fucking innocent bystanders. Dude, the graphics are fucking awesome. I'm not sure about the car being in the fucking absolute top of the screen, though. That seems a little questionable. Like, as soon as he slows down, it's fine. But if he actually tries to go anywhere... Little cones. Alright. Turn down a bit. Yeah, so this music is, of course, courtesy of one Matt Furness. And it was, of course, featured in the James Bond announced trailer, because how could it not be? We didn't even, like, this, the music even faded out before it goes completely absurd. Or, I mean, even more so. But dude, like, this is the first Bond game that has, like, a proper quality... It's not the first to have the gun barrel sequence. But, director, screenplay? Scene 3. Oh, okay. Technically, the opening is continuing here.
Love you!
Helix Core, thank you for the follow. Yeah, the game's even, like, I'm super impressed with the production values. Oh, dude, the underwater HUD. Like, not only are the graphics really good, but there's so many little details and everything. the way they describe every scene, like there's actual text in the game to tell you about the different stages. Okay, this looks a bit rough. Yeah, pure 3 FPS gaming. There's so much action. And this does look pretty awesome. Look at all these little details, all the bubbles and stuff. Like, I felt that License to Kill had great graphics. Oh, there we go. The music is going full bore now. I wonder if it's like fully invincible in the demo, or I just couldn't figure out how it works. Maybe we heard more of the song because the demo ran at 3 FPS. But yeah, like overall, even like this intro, the fact that you have the you know, the classification screen. Like GoldenEye wasn't being inventive and cheeky by incorporating that. Like, nope, it had been done several years earlier. Have the full like credits. You have this like introduction to each of the stages. Even the fact that the attract mode is showing this much of the game, like the License to Kill attract mode just loops the same simple demo of stage 1. Oh, dude, look at the little Bond up there. Holy shit, look at the animation of these dudes. Oh, so I guess Bond has a life bar, right? Like, you have limited ammo. No one's shooting at you. Look at these guys fucking vomiting blood when you shoot him. Holy shit, this looks sick. Okay, but if this, like, you know, the pace of this doesn't seem crazy. I guess the dudes up top. Oh, dude, they fall down. They don't have like guns or whatever, so you just have to stop them from getting close to him. Yeah, I wasn't sure, or sort of like the armor. The way it's described in the manual makes it sound like armor is like an active ability, but I guess it would make sense that the armor is like health, right? Parental guidance: general playing, but some levels may be unplayable for young children. Bond is straddling like a spherical like camera. It's like it's on this rail in the ceiling, and it's like this camera orb with a bunch of cameras. So it looks a bit silly, but it's essentially faithful to the film. We're still going. Yeah, we don't... Well, actually, I was going to say we don't get to see the symbol matching coordinate sending code cracking level. So we have to solve that mystery ourselves. Oh, okay, so that's maybe the start of the level that was in the screenshot then. Yeah, but see, this still looks so much more manageable than some of the stuff in License to Kill. Like, this looks so much more civilized. Honestly, the driving stage might be the biggest problem here. I guess because you're like stuck at the top of the screen. There's a lot of bullets here, though. I love that you have a little map, though, so you can at least get a good sense of your progression. Because that can be an issue in games like this, right? It like everything is looping, everything looks the same. There's no way of telling. There's no way of telling if you're actually like doing well or getting anywhere. But having a map is, I think, very helpful. Bond is riding on a jet ski or a wet bike, as they're calling it. I mean, as far as the parental guidance thing goes, I mean, it's an Amiga game. I think some levels may be unplayable for humans. credits still going? Like, scene 6. Bond's old enemy Jaws is also out to settle old scores. Hint, use mouse for act. So you can use the mouse? Huh. Oh, dude. Looks... Okay. Oh. So this is like more Operation Wolf. Like all the like the death poses, the blood spurts and everything. Like holy crap. PG for fucking vomiting geysers of blood when being shot. Oh, there's Jaws. Oh, dude, this is like full on fucking T2, the arcade game with the big Arnolds up close. Oh, dude, with ammo might be an issue. I wonder if you purchase more ammo from the Q truck, whether that like carries over into that stage or something. Oh, it's showing us what the levels look like, but the manual did that. Like, I think it's good because it gives us both a little bit of preparation to know what to expect, but also like, I'm fucking pumped for some of these stages, dude.
Check this out.
I'm very excited to actually get to play it. Original game soundtrack album not available on records, cassettes, or compact disc. Alright, there we go. I guess we're looping now. James and Anya arrive in Sardinia, ready to meet Q at the harbor to pick up the special car. James must now drive to the hotel. Whatever. We get the descriptions from the manuals. Probably should have just ran the timer for the entirety of this attract mode because it was so sick, but whatever. I'm still intrigued about the whole like mouse. So I wonder if I have to like swap ports to use the mouse or how that works. You see there we have different ammo: armor, missile, ground to air, paint, and smoke. So I guess when the game starts, you don't have weapons. Or maybe you have a machine gun or something. So those would be the Q tokens that he's collecting. And at some point, there's going to be a Q truck that we can go inside. Yeah, his armor is taking like some nasty bumps given how far he has to go. Well, he's almost done with the. Yeah, I guess that first stage doesn't look very long. The manual does not mention the mouse. That's what I was surprised about when the game told me to use the mouse for accuracy, because the game only mentions keyboard and joystick controls. So I have the emulator set up with the kind of its default assignments for joystick and mouse. And so far that hasn't like steered me wrong in various games. But I also haven't really played games where I'm supposed to use the mouse. So I wonder if the game's going to recognize the mouse as it is connected right now, or if I'm going to need to like switch ports. But if you think about how you would play this on a real Amiga, it doesn't really make sense that the game would expect you to switch. I mean, presumably if one stage supports the mouse, they all do. But we'll see, I guess, if I can just swap to using either at any point on the fly. Anyway, I'm going to wait till there's graphics on the screen. I'm going to hit a button. Try to figure out a button I can use here, but I think we skipped out of it. Mission overview. 2 nuclear submarines have disappeared and microfilm evidence suggests they have been captured. James Bond teams up with Soviet agent Anya Amasova and they decide to visit the most likely suspect, Karl Stromberg. Stage 1. James and Anya arrive in Sardinia ready to meet Q at the harbor to pick up the special car. James must now drive to the hotel in time to keep his meeting with Stromberg in his underwater fortress. Okay. So there's like a timer, I guess. All these elaborate Amiga HUDs. It's like impossible to take in all the information. Might need some help. Okay. All these people fucking standing in the road. Oh, sorry, guys. What the fuck did I just hit? I guess driving out in the... Oh, yeah, I can shoot. Okay. Thought I'd... Okay, I'm bad show, James. I was gonna say I'm out of armor, basically. So there's a number 4 there that I would have to assume means 4 lives. This is absurd. Like, why am I at the top of the screen? Can't avoid shit. Is there a visible timer somewhere? Oh my god, okay, it just drained my health. But I think, in typical Amiga fashion, it's a little hard to read the UI. But I don't think the cones, at least, cause damage. Like, anything that has little smoke puffs, I guess, is causing damage. I don't know if running over people... I guess it... Yeah, I lose 50 points. If I have 50,000, I think I can survive. Whoa, what the heck was that? Oh, okay. Puddles. Alright, okay, I guess I touched the side of the road there. Well, in typical Amiga fashion, this is an impossible game for aliens, also. But there are, you know, there are specifics beyond that general observation. Okay. I'm dead. At least we're collecting a lot of Q tokens. But much like License to Kill, in which we actually ended up beating the game legitimately without the use of trainers. But my feeling there was like, well, I'd rather try this with infinite lives than like infinite everything. Oh, okay, so the 0 doesn't count, I see. But just essentially getting infinite attempts to learn each level without having to go through this rigmarole every time. Like, that would be a nice use of cheat codes or trainers, just like to take some friction out of the experience. Because once you, like, feel able to learn each individual level, then you could learn to, like, string the whole thing together. But eventually, you know, with License to Kill, we got to that point legitimately without the use of trainers or cheats. We just figured it out. And, I mean, even Stage 1, which pretty quickly turned out to be really trivial in that game, started off seeming impossible. So I'm definitely not ready to judge this yet. But yeah, you guys let me know if you can figure out if there's any indication anywhere on screen of any kind of time limit, because I haven't been able to see one. But admittedly, my eyes are very much focused on the road. Like those little LEDs above the Q token counter, are they animating and counting down? Basically, I'm just sort of entertaining the thought here that the time limit may be fictitious. How did I do so much better that one time? I want to say that I booted this up and I tried it and I like made it to the boat part. I definitely kind of recall that, but now I'm starting to wonder if I got that mixed up with another version or another game. Or maybe I just booted up with the trainer. Like, I guess you could memorize the level at least. Like, you know, similar to Live and Let Die, where it's, like, hard to react to stuff. Your goddamn time. So it's good that it's not, like, random or otherwise preventing you from memorizing it. But I don't love the fact that it's basically forcing me to memorize it, because without doing that, it's a bit rough. But I guess what we can do is we can try to just do this very slowly and see if time turns out to be a factor. Because I've yet to see any evidence that it actually is. But yeah, aside from the kind of impossible alien factor, definitely cool and interesting. All these different levels are promising. That thing is like kind of difficult to avoid. Alright. Giant oil spills. Why are these people standing in the road? It's pretty funny that the game legitimately just lets you run over people. I guess the license holders weren't as strict. Is that a police car? Because that's a slight risk associated with going slowly. That vehicles, whatever, yeah, just careening off screen here. Maybe there's a slighter, bigger risk of them colliding with me. Okay, we didn't make it past this part before. Alright, we're basically at the very end here. According to the map. Ugh. Right, okay, that's pretty cool. Okay. Controls are a bit finicky here. We shoot missiles, we can jump. Okay, so those are like cones. Am I supposed to follow the cones? Oh, okay, so I can hold... Smoke, alright. Well, I didn't... Okay. I got a lot of armor. Bad show, James. Okay, so you have to look at the map. That's a little bit ridiculous. You don't really need to speed up to make that jump, okay. Keep right. Dude, how many missiles do these guys take? Still have limited ammunition. Okay. The jump coming up. Looks like no. What? Okay, I need to go to the right. This map is fully illegible. Use a smoke. We're on a cruise here. Alright, okay, that was lucky. Like, the map is just not functional. Alright, okay. I'm just expecting something really weird here at the end. Okay.
Kakumega Shock, Neo Geo.
I guess we made it.
I have my 3 expressions: eyebrows raised, eyebrows lowered, crossed eyes when Jaws grabs me by the kidney stone. Roger Moore.
All right. Okay, let me press the H key to pause and hold. Okay. Maybe that was a mistake. All right, we got a guru meditation, looks like. Sick. Well, okay, note to self. Don't try to pause the game. Stromberg wins. Well, it seems to me that the time thing is completely fabricated. So take it easy. Stop to look at the map and hope that it actually tells you what you need to know. And you can make it through. Encoding will fool JJ Squawkers. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense given what just happened there. Well, it just so happens that this is a good opportunity to take a short break. I've been going for about 2 hours, so I will do so. And when I return, we will make another attempt and see if we can actually play level 2 and hope that the Guru meditation there came from my pressing the H key and nothing else. Maybe we'll try the other disc, the other image, to see if we got a different cool crack tro. We'll see. Anyway, I will be back shortly. See you guys in just a little bit. All right. I returned. Let's reboot and get right back into it. Not concern ourselves with checking out other disk images. If nothing else, I want to confirm whether or not the game crashing was a result of me pressing the H key, or if the game just crashes on stage 2, in which case we'll try the other disc and hope that that works. Otherwise, we may be out of luck. But I think I have, yeah, I can see on screen even, I have the Atari ST version. I have the Amstrad and the Commodore 64 versions. I could probably source some of the other ones too. I mean, I would want to check those out regardless. But in the worst case scenario of us being incapable of even finishing this game because it just crashes. Well, I suppose we could even use the cheat code to skip stage 2 if that one in particular just happens to crash the game. But I would imagine that it should not have to come to that. Let's resume the timer and try this again. So let's take it nice and easy in stage 1. And hope that that will go nice and smooth. Man, I'm just thinking, like, if only they actually... If I was able to stay that far down on the screen, then I wouldn't have to crawl across the road, and it would be a little more fun and exciting. Can't even tell what those things are. They look like little bags of gunpowder or something. Like flattening them out when I drive on them anyway, but something happens with them. Were those just mines, I guess? Like I basically have to tank that hit. But yeah, it would appear that the stage 1 is all about farming Q tokens. Dude, why would you run further into the road when a car is coming? Oh. I feel like that guy just fucking Darwin awarded himself. I don't know that I can be held responsible. Also, I don't know about the whole missile thing. Actually, I guess I don't use missiles when I... Like, with the car, I just shoot guns. But... I wonder if any of these obstacles... I mean, surely not the oil slicks, but... bones or whatever. Okay. Can be dealt with using bullets. Was there a giant pile of, like, a puddle of blood coming off that guy? I wasn't paying too close attention. Like, the Ronald McDonald looking dudes. Because they're all red anyway, it's hard to tell. Like, if you're going fast, they just tumble as they go off screen, so you wouldn't be able to tell. No! Oh my god! I was, like, stuck. I was, like, parked off-road, and it kept draining my armor. That was stupid. Well, we get a lot more Q tokens, I guess. Wonder if you can hack the game. Yeah, there is a giant pool of blood when you run over these dudes. Clearly, the license holder did not give a shit. Just some fucking 20-year-old British dudes putting whatever the fuck they want into the game, which is pretty sick. Like, I don't know that I would be either playing or making a Bond game and go like, dude, this game needs some giant blood spurts when you shoot this dude. Like, it's not as if it's like appropriate or faithful to the source material either. It's just like someone adding it on a whim because they thought it would be cool. Again, I can greatly respect, but it's quite funny. Oh yeah, no, you just shoot a little paper airplane that sails over everything. Yeah, losing 50 points seems like a very, very light slap on the wrist at worst. Okay. This is basically where we died, right? It's at the very end. Map is comprehensible. Alright, we made it to the checkpoint. Yeah, there's no need to really speed up for the jump or anything. I have to hold right for this part. Follow the cones, I guess. Like, did the missiles fucking do anything? Oh, there we go. Like 4 or 5 missiles. I got points, so I guess that was a Stromberg. Okay, so there's a jump on the left here, according to the map. Nope, there isn't. Then what the fuck is that red dot on the map? Can I blow up this? Wait. I hold a button, and my missile... The fuck? So holding the button is supposed to activate my defensive weapons, i.e. the smoke. But when I hold the button, smoke does come out, but my missile meter is draining. So if I just tap... Yeah, it's like backwards. Okay. They're just mislabeled, because when I tap and shoot a missile, the yellow smoke gauge goes down. It's a bit weird. Yeah. Okay, well, whatever. Okay, so this is where I have to go right then. Is there a jump here? There sure is. I want to say that there was a part I have to hold left. My armor's like not that great of a concern in this part. Okay, I just barely made it actually. Yeah, it seems like I can just kind of ram them and be fine. So I think I have to go far left here. Yeah. And I guess that's the end. So both the deaths I took were like... could have been avoided fairly easily. So I exploded myself right at the end here last time, and I cleared the stage, but I did not pay attention to see whether I actually lost a life. There we go. I'm just gonna stop here to be safe. How's this related to anything James Bond? It's actually... the game goes into very great depth. To explain what's going on in relation to the plot of the film. It's actually pretty faithful. But that part is maybe one of the least faithful parts of the game. The whole speedboat thing. Alright, we're getting... Alright, that's a jump, right? Oh, that's pretty sick! I'm up on 2 wheels. Holy crap. Alright. Well, I'm still gonna take it nice and easy here. Alright, I'm not losing points if they run people over, right? What's in the road? I'm trying to look at the map. Oh, that's a Q truck. No! I'm trying to go inside. Thank you very much. Oh. Okay. No, what the fuck? Oh, I don't... Alright, can I please go inside the Q truck now? Nope. Aligned perfectly. There we go. Sick. Armor replacement. Paint refill. Okay. Let's try paint. Okay, that's 10. Okay. Pursuit missiles. Yes, thank you. Intercept missiles. Side rear bolts. Oh, that's for the next stage. Torpedoes. Oh, it tells me how much it costs. Oh, I need... Fuck! I needed to buy this. Okay. Well, I'm 45 short. Should have bought that first. But oh well. Oh, so I'm also firing missiles now. Okay, I guess that wasn't an enemy truck. This is a police car? Oh. Blasted paint on him. I wonder if this stage... Oh yeah, look at the map. It looks like it might loop. I mean, it might not. Oh! I didn't realize I was taking damage from that. Okay. Yeah, he's Bond, he's back, and he's 007. That is accurate. The lore. It's so cool. But at least, you know, aside from when you're out in the grass, which for some reason, like this underwater submarine supercar cannot handle grass, I guess. Other than that, like, your car's pretty sturdy. Like, for a game like this... Oh, I guess you can shoot to maybe scare them away faster. You might expect your health to drain a lot faster than it does, so... Yeah, I'm not gonna bother, because I don't have enough money. Oh, shit, and I lost all my other weapons, too. But, oh well. This is, like, somewhat comedic. I'm assuming... I'm hoping, anyway, that Q cannot be destroyed. See, even that is, like, not... being as, destructive to my armor as you might think. Like, you would think I would have died 50 times over from that. Oh, this is like British Spy Hunter. Sort of. 143. Okay, we're pretty close. Guns are, like, pretty ineffectual. Always just ramming. No, I just want to drive here, okay? Right now, I don't want to, like, go into the truck and leave and then have him drive off, because I just need 2 more. Cutting it real close, though. Please? There we go. Sub capability. There we go. Armor replacement. I guess it's question mark because it costs... The cost is dependent on how much armor you have, presumably. Don't fucking... No! Oh, thank you, Q. That's very nice. Just drop me off in the... damage zone. Also, I just realized... when I died the first time, I lost all of my weapons. So does that mean that I have now lost my sub capability? Oh, sick. Okay. That was a good jump. That was my last life, I take it. Oh, high score.
Check this out.
We're playing this on a 500. I'm pretty sure. I don't think this is an AGA game. Manually end it. Oh, do I have a mouse? The manual advised us to use the mouse for the final stage, which made me curious about whether I can use the mouse or anything else. This music is the godlike work of one Mr. Matt Furniss. And if he finds out you're talking shit, he'll come to your house and break your legs, and that's a promise. Actually, I know he was, he wrote some, like, someone uploaded this music to YouTube and commented on it. And Matt Furniss wrote a comment. Basically, it's like, yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. But, it's pretty sick. We've actually, I think, View to a Kill is the only game so far to actually feature its film theme. Many other games obviously has some kind of variation of the Bond theme. But it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I guess it really won't be until GoldenEye that the games will make any attempt at, like, sounding like a Bond film. I mean, not that you would expect an Amiga game to sort of try to emulate a film score in general, but... And the actual theme to this movie kind of sucks, too. Like, like, as far as, like, reviewing the films we've seen and everything, the theme song for this one is easily the weakest of the ones we've seen. So maybe there was not a strong incentive. But even so, like, it's just interesting how... You know, there could be a license question, of course, too, but, like, Bond has all these different elements. We have seen the games take different approaches to incorporating the different plot elements and stylistic elements and whatever else. But, like, music, I feel like, is a pretty noteworthy aspect. Like, no games have tried really evoking the imagery and the style of the opening title sequence. Incorporating the movie theme is really only done by one game. Like, Untapped Potential. Alright, so here's the other thing, right? If we no miss all the way to next stage, are we going to be able to get even close to 150 Q points, let alone anything else to buy extras? Whatever. Little pixel detail. Yeah, there's like so many cool little details, and a lot of it, like, you're not even going to see. Yeah, this is on the map. There very much looks like there's a big red jump there, but there isn't. Yeah, 500 points also seems, you know, I got 50,000. 500 isn't like much of a reward for spending all my missiles. Jump, I guess? No. Like, the map is just not accurate at all. I have to go... Looks like I have to go to the right. Oh, there's a jump here, I guess. Oh, I thought thought that would hit me. I guess it was some kind of a flare or something. So, yeah, I have to go left here. Let's not take a chance on that thing. So, presumably, we don't necessarily just get the one chance to get the Q truck on stage 2. Even if we do, it'd be worth to kind of confirm how it works. Okay. Clear the stage, but let's see if Whoa, okay. I was gonna say, oh, I did lose a life, but also we didn't clear the stage. The first time that happened, I did clear the stage. It must have been a matter of milliseconds of that the stage completion trigger like happened before the game actually counted the death. Well, we still probably aren't gonna get 150. I hit the side and not the top. That's true. That could have made a difference, actually. I just figured that once the message showed up, the game would count the stage as completed. I guess that's not how it works. Actually, there's a jump here, isn't there? Is not. That one takes 4. Oh, that's a cone flying. I thought that was like a projectile of some sort. Old dudes on the bridge, like scattering when you jump over them. That's pretty good. Well, I'm glad that it's possible to go slow, given that it's basically necessary. But this part is still definitely easier than the car part. Okay. Close. Like, I think anytime I've taken a death in this section, it's been because I bump into a wall, not because I've yeah, that's a fucking trap right there. Not because I've run out of armor. Because we're switching vehicles, I'm assuming that armor isn't gonna carry over. 22. I feel like it's definitely possible to get to 150 before we enter the truck the first time. But the stage is pretty long, so I just have to assume that we're going to get multiple chances. And at that point, I'd rather not have the Q truck occupy a bunch of space on screen. And I want to be able to enter it where it's like reasonably safe. But that's the thing, even if it's safe when I enter the car, or the truck rather, it might not be safe when I exit, as we saw last time. What even is that little thing? Maybe that's the little motorcycle with the sidecar missile thing. The guy, that's the funniest part of the movie. The guy in the motorbike just goes off a cliff. 145. Okay. At this point, I guess... You know what? Let's do this. Just in the interest of, like, learning how this works, we might as well kind of get it out of the way. I'm like, yeah, I was like a pixel to the right. 149, okay. So let's see how much this is. Okay, that still only cost me 10. So if I exit now... That didn't really hurt me, though. Armored van? Indestructible. Oh, there we go. I just bumped into it. Yeah, your gun just doesn't work. I have to bump him into the grass to kill him. More deadly than bullets. I just want to see if/when we get another Q truck opportunity here. Well, this guy's fucking parking right in front of me. So I have to take armor damage bumping into them. I guess you need to buy your missiles. Yeah, my armor. Okay. I mean, okay. I should have gone to the left. Could have been a skiing level. That's true. Could have just gone straight there. Would have been fine. Okay. So I guess, like, you could do some kind of calculus here on how much you want. Because I assume we still have to make it to the end of the map, right? And without the weapons... like, we can buy weapons for the next stage. Without the weapons for this stage... stage is kind of hard to deal with. But let's see here. Like a bit of a farce. Okay, but there we go. So if I get the sub capability... More expensive now. Okay. Paint, smoke, pursuit. Oh, that's 15. Accepts. And these are weapons for the next stage, the green ones. Laser's 50. We can use the paint. That at least will oh, I didn't realize, by the way, that's her sitting in the car. And I guess Bond just has big black sunglasses for some reason. Oh, this is a cool scene though. I can defeat enemies behind me. Paint. But I have a limited amount of it. I just want to see if I... You know what? It was probably unwise to spend all that money on the sub capability. Because I might have to use this life for research anyway. And now I won't be able to... Took a bunch of damage from that. If I die, I won't have the money next time, you know? But, you know, hey, taking the left here was a good choice. A few of these guys explode each other, at least. Oh boy. Oh, God. Okay, that was not worth it. Oh, I'm out of paint now, okay. 17, yeah, there's like quite a bit of stage left here. This is, I don't know, this is comical. Fully absurd. Oh boy, yeah, this is what you don't want. Okay. Okay, I made it through relatively unscathed, all things considered. Ooh, a new Q truck. Ah! I could have just barely gotten the armor there. Okay, but then we know that there is a second Q truck. So if we make it there now, we have some time to... Like, this will... The goal now, research-wise, will be to determine whether the sub-capabilities stay, basically. I should have taken a right on this section. I don't think I ever took a left here. Oh yeah, we have to make a pretty far jump here. Yep. There's a bunch of Q tokens there, though. your big highway stroll taker, Schubert. Yep, nice, you know, the scenic route. Makes sense. Oh boy. Bouncing between hazards. Let's take a right here. It's still not over. There we go. That's almost 20. Yeah, let's get some pursuit missiles. See how that goes. Yeah, the civilians, like, trying to not kill civilians, it's like a bit of a lost cause. Holding down, trying to stay safe. That's still 5 missiles. Okay, well that didn't drain too much of my missile gauge. That's good to know. Like I can mash pretty... Gotta take a left. Oh, the next fork. There we go. Because these guys are gonna... Zero armor. I can't touch a thing. Okay. Just like park and investigate the map a little bit there. Dude! How did... I shot like 6 missiles. Alright, game over. But I think it's still... obviously, if you have to make it to the end of the level... you're not going to ever need the sub capability until you get to the second truck anyway. So, it makes no sense to spend that money. Do missiles only do damage if you charge? There's no charging missile. You can hold a button to use your defensive weapons as opposed to your offensive weapons. On the boat stage, the meters are like mislabeled. So when you hold the button, your missile gauge drains, but that's because you're using your smoke. And every time you tap the button, you shoot a missile and the smoke meter goes down a little bit. So in the car, you fire bullets, basically. Which seem... On this stage, you can, like... You could... I don't know, I was gonna say you can make stuff... Like, you can shoot stuff with it, but I guess there's nothing really to shoot in car mode here. Maybe you can use it to scare jaywalkers? I guess not. But you need to actually buy missiles... or some weapon. Because right now, if I hold a button, it doesn't do anything. Because I don't have defensive weapons currently. It's hilarious that you lose 50 points when within 5 seconds of playing, 50 points is like an impossibly tiny, insignificant amount. That was kind of a weird, like, Bond power fantasy type thing here. We just have to crawl. I'm guessing the points are based on distance, or do I just... Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't get, like, keep getting points if I stop the car, right? Am is generous with the paycheck deduction. Oh, I shouldn't have read chat. Okay. We're okay. We're almost done. I mean, it's pretty accurate, right? Like, M and Q are both kind of just, you know, groaning at Bond's wanton destruction. But at the end of the day, you know, there are no real repercussions. So I think that's a pretty... I mean, granted, he doesn't usually kill people by running them over. Unless they're evil Russians or something. But I reckon that's like... I don't know that it was an intentionally tongue-in-cheek kind of reference to that, but it kind of works out that way, intentional or not. Yeah, Bond gets the job done. Well, I mean... Not in this case, really. Not so far, but I guess we'll figure it out. We'll get there. We're around 80-something. Last time we got to the end of the stage on the first life. We do have smoke. But let's be careful to not crash into the pier at the end. The trap token. I'm sure you can grab it, because if you slow down to the slowest speed, you can actually, unlike Live and Let Die, you can go to the side pretty handily. Oh boy, well, I got at least one of them. So we know that when we get to the first Q truck, we don't have to, like, string it along. If we get it, like, sort of late-ish, it's not the worst thing, but it's more about knowing what the traffic is like. But we're going to probably want to use however much we need to refill our health. And get, like, ideally... Oh! I don't start with full health. But I wonder if I start with however much health the car had, and not the boat. Actually, I do have boat weapons still equipped, though. That's interesting. So that basically means I'm incentivized to not use any of the weapons in the boat section of Stage 1. Okay, at this rate, it seems unlikely that I'll make it to the Q truck, but I'll definitely have to go inside it as quickly as I possibly can. So fucked that you, like, fall out of it. Okay. So, okay, that's good to know. I'm at 0 armor. 106. Okay, so that's 30 to basically refill armor entirely. Is this icon different, or do I just not recognize it? Everything or nothing. You'd have fun putting the speed cheat for driving missions and trying to flip as many civilian cars as you could without triggering mission fails. Sounds pretty good. Zap missiles. I don't know. That's the ground to air, I guess. I don't even know what that's for or how that would work. Yeah, it's kind of fucked though, because, like, you don't get to keep any weapons, but you keep the money between lives. Well, they drop mines, okay. So it's like you're kind of incentivized to farm Q tokens so that you like for however many lives until you get your one good attempt where you can actually afford to buy the weapons you need. Still okay on armor. Okay, that could have been way worse. Stop the read chat. Yeah, the 50 points for the civilians is fairly comical. Just absurd amounts. The little smoke I had is now long gone. I'll just try to stay out of their way. But I'm also, like, I managed to pick up, like, 2 tokens throughout this whole ordeal. So I'm definitely not any closer to affording the sub. That's pretty cool, actually. I just noticed now that he does actually shoot his sidecar. Yep, and I'm gonna die, so I can't get into the truck. Like, this is a problem. But we still, you know, I didn't start last life with full health. So, I would have to spend... Like, if I didn't... refill... Like, if I get here on 5 lives, and I dedicate the first life only to gain as many Q tokens as possible. Fucking half a mile down the road, Q hits an oil slick, and Bond's car fucking slips out. So preposterous. What can I even do? We're not gonna be able to. Let's just try to do weapon up here. I don't even know how or why you would have both paint and smoke, but let's try the intercept missiles just to see how they work. But I want to say that according to the manual, the underwater section is still also stage 2. This stage is like absurdly long. Hang on. Can I even shoot my fucking missiles? I'm not using any of the ground-to-air missiles. In the manual, it only says, like, press the button to use weapons and hold it to use defensive weapons. But you can see, even if I tap, I let out a little bit of paint. So there appears to be no way... Like, except there's... Like, unless there's some kind of contextual controls using the ground-to-air missiles. But hey, now we know that that's a complete waste of 25 tokens. But yeah, once we get to this kind of halfway point... Oh, cool, I got stuck there. Somehow survived that. Yeah, I'm starting to think we might not get through this without some cheats. But there's still definitely like a bit of a puzzle aspect to this at this point, because look at how much damage I took from that. Like, the game is relatively generous in how much kind of punishment you can take. But as soon as you touch the grass, your HP just vanishes. But But early on here in the stage, you can actually get quite a few tokens. What damage I took there. Oil Slick, yep. So let's see, let's like practice basically. It's like realistically, I can't see how I would be able to afford buying any weapons to get through this stage. It's gonna come down to defense and avoidance. It's like a cruel joke that you have this regular pea shooter, because it legitimately does not seem to accomplish literally anything. And even still, like, most of the damage I've taken is from... Yeah, I'm dead. Is from touching the outside area, which it's... I don't even know what to say. Like, why does that hurt you at all, let alone more than being rammed and shot at with missiles and bullets and exploding mines? Just full Amiga gaming. The game is still cool, but it's just, I don't know. I mean, I guess we have a variety of cheat codes to use here. Infinite health or infinite money. I didn't even really mean to do that, but sure. It's a cruel joke. Like, I kind of went into it as almost as quickly as you can. And it's like perfectly lined up. Because I can't control where Q's going. Well, I was gonna say, maybe I can by bumping into him, but then he kind of gets back. But he's perfectly lined up to hit that oil slick. It's just, you know, I basically have to wait to pass it before it's worth even trying to enter the truck. Because even if you're really far away, the truck starts taking off, and you won't get to this scene until the truck kind of makes it to the top of the screen. So, like, what do you do? Alright, I just slid through this thing. I feel like ultimately I'm still ending up negative on tokens here. Like, I spend more refilling. That was okay. I thought that was where I was supposed to take a left. It was not. Look at my health. Yeah, there's gotta be, like, I don't know. I gotta learn some kind of pattern or strategy to get through that part. I end up spending more tokens refilling the armor than I do collecting more tokens. I'm just concerned because I can't really see. Even if I refill my armor, even if I get missiles, it's still really hard to even make it to the second truck. We've only kind of just barely had this truck appear on screen. I don't even really know how easy or hard it would be to get inside of it. No, I'm not trying to do... Fuck. I didn't want to go inside the truck. I was just trying to get... I wanted to destroy the blue car. That was what I was trying to do. At least I got those tokens. So let's... Okay. Try to go all out with smoke and missiles. And imagine that we would have gotten this like the first time. Let's see if we can slow things down. They'll be slightly selective about maybe where we use some of these weapons. Try to eliminate threats. Now we return left. That's a mistake I made last time. Yeah, my armor was like almost empty when I got here the last time. So I guess it's fair to say that the weapons did help. Okay, that drained a good chunk, but not as nearly as bad as it could have been. I wonder if there's anything I can do to manipulate them to destroy each other to an even larger extent than they do here. Absurd. Focus over there. See, these guys can't really do much when they're in front of me. Can I just like fucking shoot sideways? Okay, we're out of weapons here. That was a nice strategic tackle. I think the Q truck is coming up here, maybe on the wider part. Yep. Okay. So basically I just want to refill my armor here. And that should hopefully at least let me survive to the end of the map. And we'll see what happens. Because at this point, on this credit, I never bought the sub capability. Okay, I guess that's where you want ground to air, maybe. Okay, yeah, it's getting a little bit ridiculous here. A little. Retrograde Tom. And a billion people are just joining us. Greetings and welcome everybody to Games Bond. We're currently enjoying some highly improbable British Amiga gaming, trying to decipher the game mechanics and logic and rules. Oh yeah, I guess I should have... I guess that makes sense that that would have happened. It's all good, Tom. Thanks for the raid. Thanks for stopping by, and welcome, everybody. I know how it is. You wrap up your stream, you probably got better things to do than hang around on Twitch. But yeah, welcome. Hi. I'm a little, just flummoxed here by this game. And you can be, too, enjoying these sweet jams by Matt Furness. Incredible take on the James Bond theme. Welcome, anyway. My name's Jiggy, if you're not familiar. I'm from Sweden. I play old video games and unbox action figures and stuff on occasion. Right now, we are in the middle of Games Bond. My quest to explore the history of James Bond 007 video and computer games. We're currently on game number 8 out of 50. The Spy Who Loved Me for the Commodore Amiga, C64, Atari ST, ZX Spectrum, and a few other computer systems, I think. I'm not crazed enough to commit to defeating, completing, and beating every single game legitimately. But I'm trying my best to see what these games are all about, see what they have to offer. This game so far has a lot of confusion and frustration to offer, but that's kind of par for the course with Amiga games. But it also has some very cool pixel art, Some amazing music, as you can hear. And yeah, we're not quite at the point where we are relying on cheat codes and trainers to cheat our way through this. But we might get there pretty soon. We'll see. If you want to learn more about this project and see the list of games that we're playing, we got a little chat command here for you. Got a link right there. And yeah, it's 50 games for computers, consoles, mobile phones, etc. And so we can do this. Give me a second here. Spy Who Loved Me is the current game. And yeah, it's very British and very impossible, but very cool too. We've played through various games so far with varying degrees of success, but it's been very interesting, very entertaining. Previously, I have done similar marathons, challenges, projects, whatever you want to call them. A couple of years ago, I played every Batman video game. I've also done much smaller scale marathons of sorts where I've done every version that I was able to find of Double Dragon. Every Double Dragon game, all different ports, all spin-offs, all new and old games. We did a Final Fight series playthrough 1 or 2 summers ago as well. Played some highly incredulous home computer ports of Final Fight, which was really awesome. But I don't do Bond games, though. I do a lot of arcade games, fighting games, old Japanese game. I got a big old collection of stuff back there. You do this, you can actually see what's going on here. I like to play weird, old, obscure stuff of various kinds. But I also like taking a, how do you phrase it? Educational bent to my content. I like learning new stuff. I like for people to learn new stuff. And I always find it to be an interesting endeavor to look at the entirety of, you know, a game series or a license like this and kind of go through it in chronological order and get some additional context to each of these games, which would have been very easy to just boot up and dismiss for being weird and inscrutable and impossible. Not to say they aren't, but if you come to a game like this after playing a couple of even more inscrutable and frankly not nearly as impressive looking or sounding games, it makes it easier to appreciate what each new game has to offer, I think. So that's my highly unfocused little welcome spiel. But yeah, thanks again, Tom, for the raid. I greatly appreciate it. And you guys are new here, I hope you enjoy your stay. And I hope you enjoy watching people torture themselves with inscrutable Amiga games. Because that's not what we do every day, but that's what we're doing today. Let's get back to it. Alright, let's oh yeah, I can mention this too. In addition to the game list that we have here, we also have the Q Branch Research Funding Initiative, where all contributions to the channel in the form of subs, bits, donations, merch purchases, etc. Add to this little funding goal. And we're getting pretty close to our first goal, which will unlock a top secret mission. There's several of them. And I'm excited to add those to the list of games. 50 games aren't enough. We need more Bond. So I'm looking forward to that. But I think that's enough. That's enough stalling. That's the word. Let's try this again, I guess. Intro, like the tracking, like how cool is this? The production values are out of control here. Oh yeah, I should resume the timer. So the intro and the manual has given us a pretty good idea of what to expect from the future stages in this game, and they all sound pretty sick. So scene 1 and scene 2 are this kind of top-down car, you know, fake spy hunter thing. But then stage, actually, I think it's the second half of stage 2 that's like an underwater shoot 'em up. And there's like a like Operation Wolf style crosshair light gun shooter section. There's a stage where you have to enter some kind of cipher password type thing. Then there's another shooting gallery thing where you have to shoot at Jaws while Carl Stromberg is hiding behind him. I don't know, it seems awesome. Like, frankly, these stages, as cool as they are visually, they're easily, like, the least interesting part of this game. And it's, like, kind of cool that the game gets sort of cooler the further you get into it. But it's a bit of a bummer, too. You never actually get to any of the cool parts. So we're collecting these Q tokens because we need to spend Q tokens. Q has had enough of Bond's shit, and he's not going to give him any gadgets for free anymore, I suppose. So we need to bribe Q with these Q tokens. And, we have to be careful here not to take too much damage, because, yes, when we get to stage 2, we'll start with that amount of health. In stage 2, we can find those Q trucks. Again, very Spy Hunter-like. To buy health refills and ammo for various weapons, etc. But we can also buy the submarine ability for the car, which, for whatever reason, in this incarnation, the car doesn't come with it. We have to buy, you know, it's an add-on for the car. An optional extra that we have to pay the outrageous amount of 150 Q tokens for. And, if we do not have that power-up, whatever you want to call it, by the end of stage 2, we can't get to the next stage, or the end of that section, whatever. I think the underwater part is still stage 2, but whatever. So I got to the jetty, like I got to the end of that stage, and I think technically my car exploded before I was able to jump into the water. But I assume you jump into the water and you die, or you have that power-up and you jump into the water and you get to the next part. But you do have the option to take a right instead of going left out on the, you know, out on the pier. Do I go right? Yeah, I do go right here. It looks on the map like there's a jump on the left, but there isn't. It's a trick. I don't know if the, if you go to the right and you go to the road, like, I would guess that it probably just loops the stage. So in theory, you can loop the stage and, like, grind for more Q tokens, if that's the case. Except that would be, like, impossible, because you get destroyed by everything going on. All the different insane drivers out to kill you, but also Bond's supercar is vulnerable to grass. So if you go off the road for like 1 second, the car just explodes. That's a trap. So I've deliberately been a little more economical with my missiles here, because the missiles and smoke will both carry over to the next stage. Alright, that was a pretty good stage 1. Assuming I don't explode myself here at the end. Can happen and has happened. There we go. I have to wait for the screen to scroll to the very top. So, if I make it to the first Q truck here, I'll refill my armor, but not spend any money on weapons. Could be a thing where you just have to play perfectly in your first life, basically. I mean, I guess if I... Yeah, that's right. I was gonna say, I guess if I die, just continue. But if I do die, I lose the weapons that I have, and that's not good. Oh yeah, you can just run over people, by the way. You lose 50 points, but you gain about 200 points a second, so it's like not that big a deal. Right, so I can't go inside the truck here because he's going to hit an oil slick, and I'm just going to fall out. Now we're basically good. Go. So refill armor. 1. There's no way we can get 60 tokens in the rest of the stage. No way. Yeah, I had to spend like half my missile reserves on that one van. You have like mega armor. But if you don't get rid of it, like, you're also kind of screwed. Yeah, I just don't really understand the strategy for this stage. Motorcycle. I gotta take a left here. Lost a lot of health there. Yeah, the cars can bump into you and wreak havoc, but going off-road is generally the most destructive thing. Nice, okay. One van exploded. So they don't, like, take damage from bumping into each other like that, but they can bump each other off-road. Right, so let's shit on the right-hand side. I'll just wait him out. Okay. Oh, I'm taking much damage and I'm low on missiles. Yeah, the manual seems to hint at in the first stage that we're like in a hurry, that there's a time limit, but that does not appear to be like an actual mechanic. Smoke, but I need, yeah, in order to use the smoke, I have to actually get in front of them. Who's gonna... Okay, let's... No! Oh, can I please get inside? What the fuck, Q? What are you doing? Thanks, Q, for just driving away while I'm like falling out the back of your truck. Bad show, James. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Q. I mean, I guess we get the money now, but I just wanted to go in there and refill my health and try to make it to the end of the stage just to find out what happens. But I wonder if there's a way to just be even more absurdly patient. Like, that guy will basically always just miss. The vans are definitely the real problem. They're so hard to get around. You end up bumping into them, and even if you have weapons, you have to spend like half your ammo. But I wonder if we can just cruise very slowly. Avoid, I don't know. Yeah, because I'm taking damage from that. Every bump does like a little pixel damage. I wasn't trying to go inside, but whatever. Yeah, he's like letting me out inside the wall so I get bumped and take damage. Trying to go to his right so I can bump into the left, but look at my health. Ugh. I had to bump him out further than I thought. Motorcycle's not turn really, but I have to speed up there. Okay. Sometimes I take a few more bumps there. That wasn't good. I made it to this part with like 75% health, so this is actually not a good attempt by any stretch. But I wonder if I just sit here for like several minutes, are they gonna like despawn entirely? Because if they do, that would be obviously worth it. Either they keep going at that slow speed, or they stop and I'll catch up with them instantly no matter how long I wait. Or they just kind of despawn. See if we can... I'm gonna die. Oh, hate that. Like, standing still in the grass still hurts you. Like it's toxic. Full on poison status effect. Standing on dirt. I mean, no sign of those vans yet. Yeah, because that's a new van that shows up regardless. Yeah, the map is a cool thing for sure. The van is eventually going to start, like, firing projectiles to the left, or at least it's capable of doing so. Something's going to bump into me sooner or later here. Yeah, okay. If I'd had a little more armor, I could maybe have... gotten through there. But I feel like I'm onto something here. It's like not the way you would want to play it, not the way you would think is going to be successful. Because you would just instinctively think that the game's going to, like, stop you from doing something so silly. But hey, maybe we just need to embrace our inner Roger Moore and just go as silly as we absolutely can. While occasionally just running over some pedestrians and splatter their blood all over the street, you know. Things happen. So the oil slick is prevent us from getting inside. You're slightly misaligned, you just somehow bump the truck to its side. I've never had this much trouble aligning myself with it. Okay, now we're misaligned, so I can't... It's like outside. Okay, the blue car is usually not around here. This is a disaster. Full chaos. Alright, well that's an interesting development. Even if I get inside here... I think by the time I would get to the second truck, I probably would have gotten Q more tokens. 7 more Q tokens. Unless I explode as I get out of the truck here. Oh, okay. That's lucky. Lucky break there. Fucking blue car, though. Alright, I'm gonna park here for a little bit. Blue car with its Rick Dangerous pistol. Ugh. Alright, let me hydrate. How's everyone's Monday? I'm doing okay. Feeling reasonably relaxed, all things considered. Although I am I spent pretty much all of yesterday cleaning my apartment. Something that was long overdue. Wait, okay, so I guess that truck just spawned. We don't want to deal with that. And it feels good. My apartment is certainly not spotless, but it's in a better shape than it's been in a long time. But apartment cleaning has a tendency of exercising muscles you didn't really know you had, let alone how untrained they were, because I'm all stiff and in pain. Still recovering from mouth surgery. Hope that went well for you. Sure, that's slightly more of a taxing recovery process than recovering from apartment cleaning. So you have my sympathies. These fucking corpses in the road. It's ridiculous. Alright, let's just... I guess that's the strat, you know? You know, I actually get to collect these, too. Alright, okay. See a car? Just let him pass. But I just want to try now. Yeah, it sure looks like they basically despawn instantly. Or I would have just caught up with it, right? Okay, we gotta go full Roger Moore. Just go silly. Do the ridiculous thing. Yeah, like, no, okay. I was gonna say, even when they come from up top, they leave the top of the screen, they just disappear. I guess they might have to go a little bit outside the screen. Fucking police cars just careening into the walls left and right. Never really accomplishing much of anything. Ooh, the helicopter's gonna come up, but maybe we can outweight the helicopter also, I guess. Like, if it turns out that we don't need any other weapons, maybe you can afford to invest in the ground-to-air missile. Because right now, I won't be able to afford it. And the underwater upgrade. Sub capability. Get the armor. Let's see. Leave. What a ridiculous game. What a ridiculous strategy you have to employ. Oh. See, this is the part. Yeah, when it's like hovering like that, I don't think I can really just wait it out. But again, getting hit by missiles, not as perilous to your health as you might expect. Not compared to, say, standing on grass. Yeah, so he was going up just to stop. The helicopter's, like, direction and velocity does not really seem to be related to anything you're doing. He's kind of doing his own thing. That's a massively long jump, but we made it. We didn't crash into anything. Well done, James. Okay. Let's remember not to pause. Right, we don't have any weapons for this stage. Okay, we have a normal pea shooter. We would have needed to spend money in the Q truck. Okay, that was maybe a power-up. Get our 4-way bullets and shit. So cool. Okay, yep, the letters are things. Oh, that's our 4-way shot. Everything still takes 8 billion hits. We're still British gaming here. So make sure to collect letters if possible. Assuming that's an enemy at least. Can I damage it? Can I hit it? Unclear. Not super mobile. Oh, okay. We got it. E. Torpedoes. Okay, good. Okay. Pretty satisfying. Limited ammo, though. Not what I would have expected from a James Bond game, I have to say. Full on fucking shoot him up. Wait, what's the... Oh, okay, never mind. I was like, what's that thing I have 9 of? It's like 2 tokens. I don't know how I forgot that, but so much going on. Okay, laser. It's probably armor. I missed it. Oh, shit. Okay, that's not good. Mobility weaker than expected. But still, you know, I've held up pretty well so far. And I mean, you get these weapons for free at this stage. Oh! Holy crap, these bosses are so sick. Oh, that deals quite a lot of damage, though. Laser also has limited ammo. I wasted all my torpedoes. And now my armor is running out. I can't avoid that. Bad show, James. Bad show. Okay. Oh, I didn't even realize there's a map. Oh, dude, we were pretty close to the end there. Oh, I got a reverse shot this time. Yeah, because you see the little sub-bosses on the map. And then, like, the bigger boss. Actually pretty sick. And clearly, like, there's a learnable pattern, too. Oh, boy. Okay. Avoiding stuff is really hard, though. Old Euro shmup. Long life bar slowly draining. Largely unavoidable damage. Torpedoes. Graphics are so cool, though. Like, I wanted to be close like this so that my, like, up, right, and down, right missiles could both hit. Church Monkey, thank you very much for the follow. Enjoy your stay. Oh, so when you fire... Okay, that's good to know. You can't really mash the torpedoes because... Oh, got both. when you fire a torpedo, any other torpedo on screen just vanishes. So if you mash, they just like never really get anywhere because they keep like respawning. They're weirdly kind of incentivized to fire much slower. Of course, the laser fires pretty quickly. Not quick here. Forgot that I actually fire backwards too. Oh, I'm out of torpedoes, so not a concern. Just out of laser, but I would like to make it count. Dude, just staying in front there just melts you. He doesn't have a life bar, of course. Not even hitting anything? Might have been too far to hit there. Because of course your bullets don't travel full screen distance. It'd be too easy. Fuck. Ugh, okay. I don't know, man. Well, I guess if I know not to waste... not to be too wasteful with my torpedoes, I could possibly save more torpedo ammo on the double, you know, sub-boss. But will having more torpedo ammo help me? Well, I guess it will actually against the big boss, because that will allow me to stay in kind of a diagonal position, which, as I even commented on, like, it's hard to stay on his immediate right or his, like, in front or behind him. But if I'm at an angle, I can't hit anything. But when I have torpedoes, I can hit stuff at an angle. So maybe you just need to take things really slow and use your torpedoes and just ignore the fact that you have lasers. But you may or may not have lasers depending on whether you're able to pick them up. Yeah, look at my armor. I felt like I took a bunch of hits, but... you really take significantly more damage from whatever that boss is doing. So I might be taking a little more damage here than I would otherwise. But I'm trying to conserve ammunition. And the fucking torpedoes have limited range. This is like kind of practice for the big boss also. Everything's tanky as hell. Alright, it does at least fill up your armor fully. I don't have much, like, I don't know that that saved any ammo. Ignore those guys. My last life too, by the way. I'll run out of torpedoes before I run out of lasers, I guess. I just stay between the laser beams, but that's easier said than done. This seems like a big target. Okay, I'm out of torpedoes. Trying to make good use of the laser, but... Dude, he's like shooting so fucking much. He's like the gun dudes in License to Kill all over again. Backing off? Can't like squeeze into the corner, at least. Just good to know. But it's not that I'm necessarily safe. Never mind, I guess. Okay. That's the first time you did that. I was gonna say, as long as I'm to the like furthest to the left, I won't get hit by the beams, but
Check this out.
that turned out to not be accurate. I thought I was doing pretty well there, but man. Well, we learned a valuable lesson about how to beat the driving part. By as soon as any car shows up on screen, just hang back. And I think with that, I could probably get to the underwater section on 5 lives. I don't know. I didn't pay attention to know if you get new, like your health refilled. But if you don't do it through the other stages, then I don't know why you would there. Tells you that the eye is not centered. Yeah, the font is a bit funky, isn't it? Panels on the right. Yeah, of course we got full Amiga power HUD. Very, very cool. Ugh.
Hit it.
Yeah, so we're getting a preview here of the other stages. So we didn't even make it to scene 3. Even though scene 2 has 2 different parts. What the hell's going on? Is this... Okay. Those letters, I'm pretty sure, are supposed to be bubbles. Some kind of high score table graphical mix-up, it looks like here. Oh wait, so the game called this stage 3, or scene 3... Or rather, the intro is calling it Scene 3, but the game didn't do that, right? The manual, too, said that this is part of Scene 2 still. Yeah, because Scene 3 is the, where you have to shoot the gun while Bond is planting the bomb. Scene 4 is the password scene. Scene 5 is the jet ski scene, and scene 6 is the final showdown. So this is still scene 2, but the intro calls it 3, which is kind of weird. Yeah, it would be nice if there was a boss health bar, so you had some idea of how far along you are. I mentioned too that it's nice, like having the map is very helpful because it actually shows you, gives you a sense of how far along you are. Well, I feel like we learned enough here to conclude that we can probably get to the underwater section fairly consistently. And there's some practice and studying to do yet. It's kind of rough that there's no checkpoints or anything in that level either, though. I mean, I guess it's probably good because otherwise you just not have your weapon upgrade. You wouldn't have the reverse, like you wouldn't have the 4-way shot, but you're gonna... Yeah, then it's a scene 3 tank or whatever. This is the stage I really want to play. Like, how sick is this? Look at the animations. So you have to protect Bond while he rides the little camera orb all the way to the control room. There's like Bond's life bar on the top right. Oh yeah, it's a little flashing thing that was falling down there is like a magazine for the gun. You shoot it to get more ammo. The graphics are definitely borked by the high score table. The dudes up top that come running and they just like vomit blood when you shoot him and they fall over. Animation's so sick. So we'll see. This is where we're gonna leave the game for tonight. Next time we will give this a second attempt and we'll see if we can make it through to scene 3. And depending on how that goes, we may or may not play around with some cheats to skip some levels and at least get a taste of the later parts of the game. But I want to see if I can actually get through it legitimately. We'll see. So my next scheduled stream is on Wednesday night.
Look, you!
But I have some stuff going on this week, so there is a possibility that I will have to cancel on Wednesday. I'm not entirely sure. I'll have to... I won't know until Wednesday, probably. Great Sir Nico, thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate it. If you want to stay on top of updates on stream happenings and whatnot, I recommend that you check out my Discord. You can also follow me on Twitter. I have been pretty terrible lately at actually using Twitter to announce stream news and stuff. I do always tweet when I go live, but otherwise it's mostly other stuff. But feel free to give me a follow if you would like. But on Discord, I post updates on stream. We chat about games, Bond, and other stuff. And we also do video game movie watch parties on Saturdays, usually. We watched a bunch of pretty fun movies. We watched some really bad ones, but not that many. Mostly fun times. We also watch Bond movies on occasion. Whenever we play a Bond game that is based on a specific movie, we watch that movie in preparation for the game. And we did watch The Spy Who Loved Me this past Saturday. That was a good time. So if you're interested in joining group watches of these films as they come up, check out that Discord link right there. Why don't you? But that'll be it for me tonight. Let me figure out who else is streaming. Actually, before we do that, let me just take a quick look at the Q Branch Research Funding Initiative status. We are again creeping ever so closer to our first goal. Will be interesting and will be requiring a bit of research on my side to figure out how that game is actually going to be played. We'll be able to figure that out. Let me see. Who are we rating? A lot of stuff going on. Man, so many people are live. Let's see. Sean is playing Back to the Future games. That sounds pretty good. Looks like he's doing Super Back to the Future on the Super Famicom. That always seemed like a cool game. I've never actually played that, but let's go say hi to Sean. Let's cheer him on in his Back to the Future quest. If he made it through the NES Back to the Future games, he's a trooper. Well, I know he is. He's an incredibly powerful gamer, Sean. So let's go say hi to Sean. But yeah, thanks again for hanging out, everybody. Have a nice rest of your week. Maybe I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Otherwise, I'll see you guys when I see you guys. Take care and bye.